Hello and welcome to the movie podcast. My name is Anthony. I am one of your hosts. As always, I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Daniel and Shay. How are you guys doing this fine morning?
Oh, that's gonna rhyme. I definitely thought he was gonna rhyme. Like, how are you doing today?
I stopped the rhyme.
Or how are you doing this day? I know you're a man of no rhymes.
There are no rhymes allowed when Anthony's hosting.
It's like that movie Footloose with you, right? Like, just no dancing, no music. That was it.
No rhyme, no dancing, no music, no rhymes.
No rhymes.
We just didn't know about it.
Yeah, no. I'm no rapper. I'm no.
You look kind of like
dancer.
Eminem though, a little bit though,
Well, because of the blonde hair.
and the chain.
Oh, yeah. You guys can't
and
see
your,
it, but I
and your
have my
Marshall
chain.
Mathers tattoo that you have.
I have, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But how you guys doing? How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, it's nice to be together. We are, in the midst of February. The day of love is upon us, February 14th.
Yeah.
And here we are talking together in a room about movies and shows that we love. So it's always good.
Yeah, Love Day is just around the corner, and obviously we love talking about movies. And my Valentine's this month is gonna be movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is that like, that's a tradition? Like every month is movies with you.
Yeah. Why would me? Like, why'd you say it was?
But like you make it sound like, oh, the month of February is gonna be movies. But like every month is a movie.
I like to give the movies respect. I don't know. I don't treat them like just everyday piece of trash.
Right.
like you do clearly.
No, I don't. I'm just saying I'm acknowledging that movies are part of my life. So every month is pretty much a movie.
Then why did I hear back?
Every day is Valentine's Day for Anthony for movies. Yeah, that's why.
I heard back from movies that they don't want you to be their Valentine's this year.
That's okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? I'll switch to video games.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
It's a cousin of movies.
Cousin of movies.
It's a cousin of movies. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You guys hear about this thing that was blown up in the Yukon?
Yeah, another unknown
object.
flying object that was
We cannot confirm or deny that it was part of the movie podcast.
It is a marketing technique that we're trying out.
It was a hot air balloon.
There were cassettes filled with our episodes in there. We just assumed that in the Yukon they're probably listening to us on cassette, so they probably don't have internet there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean that's. I mean, we're safe to assume that, right?
We're safe to assume that.
we're safe to
Yeah.
assume
What do you think? Like, what do you think they shot down? Because they said it was like a cylinder object.
A lot of cylinder objects floating in the air nowadays.
Yeah,
eh?
all of a
What's going
sudden.
on? It's like, when the TTC in Toronto here, our train system, every day someone was getting like stabbed, punched, kicked, like some sort of
needled.
Yeah, some sort of violent action,
Yeah.
and then it all just went away.
Yeah.
Just
And now we're getting these flying
now
objects.
we're getting this.
But now our mayor's gone.
Our mayor is gone due to a scandal. It felt like such a Mayor Quimby type of thing, by the way.
Well, listen, Toronto mayors are cursed. Whoever's coming in is just going to be like, oh, you know what? We're going to have a CBC movie about me one day.
Good Lord.
And that's
our city's just got some wild people in it, I guess. And like, you don't think that. Like, I never thought like, okay, it's that bad. But from Rob Ford to now Mr. Tory, like,
it's Gotham City over here.
Well, it wasn't corruptible in the sense that he was taking money from the city. He was having an affair while he was in power, and that person was also under his
wing.
So
There's a bit of a large age.
It's a huge age gap actually.
She's my age, yeah.
And he's like 109. Like, it's wild.
Just today.
I guess like the dating scene in Toronto is not great.
Toronto man can get it.
It's hard out there. It's hard right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's either mayor of Toronto or nothing.
or nothing at all.
So that's where we are.
Any other things you guys want to talk about before we get into like all the other stuff that our show is about? Like anything off topic?
Off topic, yeah. What do you guys think about the gas crisis?
You're asking us about to do the banter right now.
That's the banter.
Yeah, you're forcing the banter.
I'm not forcing the banter.
Let the banter just come naturally.
I'm just saying, there's things that are happening that maybe we want to talk about, or not. We'll go right into our little.
Is there something you want to talk about?
No, I talked about I believe the UFOs are being shot down.
So you think they're UFOs?
I do believe they're UFOs.
What if there was a Mr. Peanut shaped one? This is a callback to a previous episode
It's that one balloon.
That one's been floating up there for a while.
No,
we've been wondering where it's been landing.
They wouldn't send like NORAD to shoot down a Mr. Peanut balloon.
You never know, dude. You never. I mean, it was Super Bowl time too that we were talking about.
Exactly, it was.
So when this show's airing, the Super Bowl champions have been
crowned.
Congratulations.
We don't know yet.
Congratulations to. Just leave it blank. Leave it blank, and then we'll insert it after. To the Tennessee Walkers. I don't know. Is that a name of a team?
The only thing that makes me excited about it being with Philly this year is that like I just want to see what Always Sunny's going to do with this episode. Win or lose, they're going to have a banger episode.
They're going to have a great episode.
Like me and Daniel know that Shay's not big into the sports other than like basketball. I think you're really into basketball, but like you don't know much about football, or you know football, but like you don't follow the teams.
They throw a puck around in football, like, I think.
I feel like, exactly right.
You know those TikTok videos where you would ask your significant other, like, name this team? I feel like we should do that with Shay, and he would like come up with all these different team names.
I'm pretty good with team names though.
Are you sure?
Because I'm cultured enough to know like team names, and I look into Oakland, that kind of stuff. Raiders?
They used to be the Oakland Raiders.
What are they now?
I don't know what they are.
Hold on a second.
I think
so we're on the same playing field right now.
Are they the Las Vegas Raiders?
I don't know. I was like, just keep talking about Shay.
I don't think Daniel knows about football either, though.
I'm looking at
Oakland Raiders.
They are the Las Vegas Raiders. Wait, are they Las Vegas Raiders? Yeah,
so
they are.
Oakland lost the team to Las Vegas.
I think it was Oakland, then Los Angeles, and then Las Vegas.
Yeah, because the whole big thing was bringing a team.
Los Angeles has two teams. Two teams literally called Los Angeles. And then whatever, Rams
just like in
Chargers.
Basketball, too.
Los Angeles Lakers.
LA Kings and Clippers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, or Kings is
hockey. Sorry, Lakers and Clippers.
Yeah. And
did I say Kings? Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's strange how that happens, though, right? In sports. It's just like, we're going to give... Toronto, biggest hockey like nation in the world, is like we're gonna have one team, and only one team could survive here because that's how the Leafs like fandom is.
I almost get it though.
100%.
Because 100%. They have 38 million people in California, so they have a team for like every street corner, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, 38 million people in California, and there's still more hockey fans in it's just the GTA.
You're right.
There, but it's wild. I mean, that's what it is. But it's always the thing I love most about the Super Bowl, though, because it's really the only time that I do watch football, is just I love the spectacle of it all.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love. Like all day today when we're done recording, I love watching all the little mini documentaries they have, all like such specific things they'll have. Like we have a whole like segment that we made just on, how the lines on the field are the stitching or the painting on the floor, and where does this, and it's like, I just love the amount of spectacle that goes into it, because as a Canadian watching, as someone who felt so far away from, like, we know how big we go for hockey and stuff here, but it's still like a drop in the bucket compared to what the religion of the NFL is.
It is. Right? You know what? It starts though from what I understand, like from any time we've been in the States, even it really does start in high school. Like the way they take high school football so seriously to college and then all the way to the NFL. We like. In my high school experience, football was taken as seriously as it was like anything else in the school.
Right.
Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was big enough, but that's about it.
Yeah. Like the school spirit here isn't as big a thing as it is in the States.
No, because you're like a local celebrity when you're on the football team in high school there.
Yeah. It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
The one thing that I noticed, like football is very similar to like football in Europe, where it's really community based in the sense that they will follow this team for a really, really long time, and it's the biggest thing. So the clubs like in Milan, or if you go to Juventus and England with Chelsea and Liverpool,
and Premier League,
so like that, like the fandom alone for that, which is huge, because those stadiums are like as big as football stadiums here or in
I feel like they're,
the United States.
They're bigger, like when you look at
like the European football,
football definitely are fucking coliseums. Like they are just like, and I think like that's still the craziest when it comes to sports fandom, because it's like on another level.
What's beyond religion, right? I think like I don't want to say cult, but there's definitely like levels of it.
It's like their being. It's amazing, and I think we were just discussing about sports the other day, just how like it's
sports, because we're men.
Sports and
we're talking about fire
and sticks, and fire. What?
I don't know. Why were we talking about those
we were talking about sports the other day too, and it's interesting when you think about like just the oh my god, I can't even say it. Psychology behind sports. Okay. Yeah. This is a movie podcast, right?
It is.
But it's Sports Sunday.
One thing I did want to bring up, because the Super Bowl was happening on Sunday, Last of Us aired on a Friday, but here in Canada, those who watched Last of Us live on Crave, they ended up watching episode 4 of Last of Us and not getting episode 5.
That was funny. Yeah.
That was it was an interesting moment for those who like people who really want to watch it when it comes out.
Yeah.
And they don't have the app, so they're using the channel. I guess that's how it worked. It was the channel
so the app had the episode proper, so you could go into the app and watch episode 5. But when you're watching it live, like a lot of people do when they have HBO or Crave and they want to watch it live as it's on TV, because sometimes the app takes a little while to put the episode up. It started with episode 4 that aired. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if it was us watching, it would have been like, we were like, oh wow, like, because you know how some episodes start like in the past, they're like, oh,
shot for shot.
This recap is really in depth.
What's different? Who are we looking for here?
Damn, they're really focusing on the details.
Yeah, but it was our friend, Brad Shankar, who I saw like tweeting about it, and he has an article up on Mobile Syrup too, who were just like, oh, like they aired the previous week's episode.
It's always Canada that gets like the shitty end of a stick sometimes, right?
Yeah. So luckily, I think everyone ended up finding it afterwards, but it's just funny how it happens. I mean, at least the episode was available, and it's wild that we were talking before that the final episode of The Last of Us, the season finale, is airing on the same night of the Oscars. Is that going to move, or they're going to be like, we don't care about the Oscars. We're gonna air, and people are going to watch us.
Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to air. I think they want to compete with the Oscars because they know with the Super Bowl, everyone watches it. Like even if you don't watch football, it's like something that you just.
It's a hard thing to move people over from, but the Oscars is easy to manipulate that crowd over.
Or will they do like a 2-episode finale of The Last of Us? Because I could also see them going down that route too if they don't want to compete.
Was how long again? An hour and a half?
No, I think it was just an hour.
Yeah, it was a shorter
episode.
Shorter episode, yeah.
I could almost see them going down the path of like, let's do a 2-episode finale.
The week before?
So when it was week 8, we're going to do...
I'm game for that.
I think that would make a really big moment on TV as well too, and give them the dominant conversation as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens.
Unless there's like another slap that happens at the Oscars. I think that's where a lot of people will kind of like.
But that's what people are going to tune in for.
They'll wait for like what's happening like in terms of social media, what drops at the Oscars, and then they'll change to that channel.
Right.
What shenanigans or wildness is happening at this year's Oscars.
What's that craziness going on tonight at the Oscars? People tune in just again for the spectacle of it. They want to know what's going to happen tonight. Crazy stuff happened last year. This year must be even crazier.
Yeah. But you know what you can always tune into? The movie podcast happening every single Monday.
Damn it.
Watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure to follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And you could also follow us on YouTube, where we have our videos. We do a lot of our video reviews there and our interviews, and I edit them all. And
look at that. Look at our faces.
Yeah, look at our faces. Look at my face.
Someone literally commented the other day saying, I've never seen your faces before. This is a shock to me. I don't know if that was a good thing or not.
I haven't slept since I've seen that message.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's interesting that they haven't, because I feel like our faces on social media are pretty prominent.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm the most
face
person on.
You barely have a face.
I barely.
Yeah. It's censored here. I don't know how that's happening. Yeah.
It's very blurry for some reason.
So please like and subscribe our video. Go and like and subscribe our videos. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, and don't forget to join our Discord and write into the show at hello@themoviepodcast.ca. What was this week's question, Shay?
This week I didn't ask the question because got a little busy. No, actually, I think I asked around.
No, you did. You asked. I think you asked on Sunday or Monday.
I did. I asked. Sorry, with the week's DC announcements, is there a project that you were hoping would have been announced? And we got some great answers. I'm going to read some of them out actually really quickly here. Poston20 said that I would have loved to have a Zatanna movie or a show that would have led to Justice League Dark. But Swamp Thing, I guess, can lead into it as well. And then overall, I'm quite satisfied with the DC slate. Another one that I'll read out is from Jappy Boy here. I think maybe a tease to like the end of the chapter, like in a Justice League movie or Titans or World's Finest. So, what do you guys think about that?
Zatanna would be amazing.
I feel like we'll get Zatanna. With the way James Gunn is kind of doing it, it might not be announced here. Maybe it's one of the secret ones or part of the next phase.
What's interesting too with the James Gunn projects that we have right now, I think he's really setting it up that anyone could show up in these projects too, because we have animation, we have live action shows, we have movies. So who's to say that Zatanna won't show up in Creature Commandos?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even though she may not be part of them in the comic books, But you could have like,
it'll make sense.
It makes sense.
We're building this universe now, so let's have someone just randomly show up here.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, I would love a Justice Society. I know it's a huge undertaking, but I think the Justice Society, like Jeff Johns' Justice Society,
like redone properly,
was so well received, and it was so well written. It was a beautiful book, and it took like unknown superheroes and just brought them back to like this stature. And
do you think they could do it now after Black Adam? Like it's too close to.
And Black Adam was a big part of Justice Society because that was kind of like their main villain of sorts as a group. But he would be like this anti-hero. He would be with them. He wouldn't be with them. So it's a huge undertaking. You know, I don't think they deserve more of a story than the Justice League. And I think the Justice League and eventually getting to that point is what the focus is. But a Justice Society, maybe in an animated form, would be great because they did the Frontiers thing a couple of years ago.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that was like 2009.
Yeah.
I want to say that came out, and I really liked the Justice League Frontiers animated film. It was really well made
good.
And dark. It was a really dark.
Which one was this? Sorry,
this is the one that's like the Justice League, but it was in the 50s.
Yes,
it was like one of the early DC animated films.
Very good,
really good. I remember buying it like on Blu-ray and like watching it, and it was just so well made.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
We'll be talking about more about that DC stuff later on.
Later on. Hint. I'm going to kick it to Daniel for some announcements.
So we have a full week of incredible episodes coming your way.
Monsieur Incredible.
You didn't save my life. You ruined my death. It's an Incredibles reference for you.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're listening to a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast today on Monday. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, you will be able to hear our review of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Following that, on Wednesday, we will have our sit-down interview with Kathryn Newton, which Shay got to talk to her. We had a really good time with her on the red carpet.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for everyone to see that interview because it was
a lot of fun. Yeah. Kathryn is you know what? I maybe I should have done the research on this, but I didn't know that she was almost a pro golfer.
Yeah.
So that was crazy to know when we were kind of talking just before the interview had started. But no, she was great. She was so much fun. I know we spoke to her on the red carpet.
Yep.
And again, she was just vibing.
She's awesome. Like we had a great time with her. We asked her some really fun questions. So there's going to be lots of coverage from all of our discussions with her this week. It's a big Ant-Man week. It's a big world with the MCU coming back.
Ant-Man week.
It's a big Ant-Man week here on the Movie Podcast. And then later this week, so we put out a question to you all on Sunday to talk, because we are going to be talking with Lamar Johnson, who plays Henry in The Last of Us, who, again, phenomenal performance. Stay tuned for that interview later on this week. We're looking like on Friday we're going to be dropping that, so we're going to have lots of great conversations coming your way with that interview. And then of course we have Hello Tomorrow. We're talking to some of the cast of that, so look forward to that next week on the Movie Podcast, because there's always so many incredible things happening. And then of course I do want to say all of May, what month are we in?
We're in February.
All of February, the Movie Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Check out our show notes below to get 20% off and free shipping. We love working with Manscaped so far. We're really hoping to continue. So please check out our show notes. Use promo code MoviePod to get 20% off and free shipping. Show notes below have all the information and more, and you'll hear an ad later on in the show. That's all I got for you, Anthony.
Thank you, Daniel. Are you guys ready to get into the news?
Oh, man. The windows in here almost broke.
Oh, my God. I felt that in my core.
That was like that was below your core, like it was like
that was the groin.
That was the groin.
It was right from the groin.
Is that why I'm erect? Okay, that makes sense.
Because you use your Manscaped.
Not right now though.
Why are you using your Manscaped now?
It's an awful sound to hear.
No, it's whisper quiet, Daniel. Come on, it's whisper quiet. You can't even hear it. The mic's not even picking it up.
Our first news story is one that affects us personally. And affects a lot of a lot of us here that people who are living in Canada, and that is the dreaded Netflix password gate. Let's call it that.
Password gate.
I think it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Netflix suddenly dropped this bombshell saying, "Hey, Canada, your Netflix password that you're sharing,
you're dead,
is dead.
You and your friends are dead."
And all of a sudden, these emails started to trickle in to all the user base saying, "Hey, by February 21st, you have to designate a household as the main household for your Netflix account. And that sparked uproar from everyone. Everyone started to say, we're canceling our Netflix. We don't like this. We hate it. Don't.
I'm in Brooklyn, but I'm Canadian, so I gotta.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
What's the Canadian accent? You do it really well.
Well, don't you know there? I don't know.
The man's accent.
The man's accent.
The man's accent.
Oh, that's Toronto man.
Oh, Toronto man. That's not Canadian. That's Toronto fam.
that's
Yo,
Toronto,
I can't do it right
want
now.
my password?
Yo, man,
bro.
you gonna bum a ting off me or what, fam?
Are you Blem? Blem. What year is it?
We're doing our year of Toronto man's accents for sure. The people nowadays they've advanced. They've advanced the accent.
This is something that we knew was coming for a really long time.
Yeah, and it's coming to the States as well.
It's coming eventually, and
because
I think
it leaked. Their frequently asked questions leaked, and they were like, "Oh no! This is we leaked.
Don't worry about this.
This dropped a little too early." And then Canada was like, "Bam, we gotcha."
It wasn't even a warning, It wasn't like, "Hey, let's give them time to prepare." Like when those speed traps, like those speed cameras that show up on the street.
Yes.
Hey, and by law they have to do this. There's a speed camera that's going to show up in this neighborhood eventually. So why didn't they do that with this password thing? Hey, starting February 21st, and you have from 21st to whatever, March 21st, you have to designate this password thing. I just felt like the way they marketed it was just abrupt, and it was like very... it didn't feel organized. It felt like it was just
it felt like an attack.
And it felt like an organized attack.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's been so much, blood in the water with Netflix in the last year with this news, because we first spoke about this on the movie podcast last year. Like, oh, they're coming for South America. This is somewhere they're going to start implementing this.
That's when they started testing, right?
Right. They started testing it. So like we've known this is going to be something. And there's no good PR around this. There's no way around it. So I think Netflix is like, let's not draw it out. This is what's happening. You're either on board or you're on the curb. So
yeah, it's an interesting kind of way to go down this, because they clearly know, the backlash that's going to come from this. They know that they're going to be taking it on the face, and I think they're okay with it. I genuinely think they're just going to be like, yeah, for sure, people will hate it and they'll be upset, but like all things, it'll come back around.
And I honestly think I honestly don't believe this is going to really hurt Netflix in the long run, because as much as people say we're going to cancel, we're going to do this, no one does. No one we'll have a group of people that do. Yeah. We'll have a loud group of people that do.
We do. Yeah.
But the majority of people will be like, well, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean?
It's a lot, but go ahead, sir.
So if you are adding another household to your account, it's $7.99 in Canada. So that would bring your total, if you're using, the highest tier, you're about
$30 in.
$30 in with tax. I'm not sure what it is in the States, but I'm guessing it would be
probably $5. $5. So much different.
But yeah, so it's quite a bit of money to add a second user, but it's actually, I would say, cheaper for that second user if they're really wanting to use it to be added on and get the privileges of 4K, of Dolby Vision. And
I wish Netflix showed or shared what their user base was subscribed to, because do the majority of people subscribe to the four device plan,
the Premier or whatever?
I think they do. I think
you think the majority of people have the highest end of Netflix?
I don't think so.
In the States, I think so.
I wonder because I feel like people don't care about quality as much, but they will care about being able to have 4 simultaneous streams.
Right.
Yeah.
If they care about that, I don't know.
But I also don't know if that's as much of an issue anymore, because like in my household, we all use Netflix, but there has never been a time where all 4 of us are watching at the same time.
Yeah, at home. Well, like, why aren't we just watching something together?
Yeah, it'll typically be 2 people, and that's what I find so interesting about this is you're still giving me 4 simultaneous screens in the same house. Do you think we're all watching TV separately when we're in the same house?
Yeah,
like 4 people.
4 people all watching TV separately and all watching on Netflix.
And then there's a 5th guy that comes in that's like, well, not it's my turn. Oh, darn it, I can't watch it.
Oh, okay. Where do you live, by the way?
I live in the States.
Oh, wow. That's a
southern,
long... okay, so you're not affected by this yet.
No, I'm not yet. I'm worried
the
about
Bayou in Canada?
The Bayou in Canada.
It feels like the way they marketed it is like it is for a suburban family. Like you have a house, you have 2 kids upstairs, they have their own accounts where they're watching it on their mobile devices, and you have the parents, and maybe the mom doesn't want to watch with the husband, or the wife and husband don't watch together, so they watch separately. I'm never in a situation where I'm watching Netflix in a house with 4 different streams.
No.
But then again, I'm also in a house that doesn't have 4 people. So why should I pay more for 4 streams? Now it comes down to, I could have shared that account, that 4th person account with someone, but I can't, but I'm paying extra so I can get a higher quality stream. There's all these little check marks that you're checking and then unchecking, and you're like, why am I paying this money?
I'm only paying this money because I want the higher quality streams.
Exactly.
Because I know even 1080p looks worse on the lower tier somehow. Like the bit rate and everything you get when you're not on the highest plan is noticeably less.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is it like this? First of all, I think if they were going to make this change, a good trade-off would have been, we're no longer charging you for 4K. All plans of Netflix have 4K Dolby Vision offered. At least I would have been like, oh, this is going to make the pill go down a little bit easier. You know what I mean? But
but then you got to wonder, do people, like we were talking about it, do people care about, like, people will watch on their phones and not care about the quality,
But I at least would have, for me, for example, like, if we got that option, I would have gone down a tier, because I'm like, I only need 2 simultaneous streams, maybe.
Because we also now, it feels like the value of the plan that we're paying for isn't there anymore. Like, if I'm paying close to $25 a month for 4 streams in 4K, and now it's reduced that, like, I can't even watch it, like, if I go to a friend's house, if I want to log in just to watch that day with them, or if I travel, I have to, like, get a lawyer to give a fucking note to the team to let them know that I'm going to be going, or just whatever craziness that kind of comes to. Like, my car has Netflix built in it, but now I'm already seeing.
Could you even set that as like your home?
And I've been seeing people already posting saying that now when they're, driving, when they're parked, they can't use the Netflix in the car anymore. Like, it's just silliness at this point. So you've taken away so much, kept the plan price the same. If anything, you've made it more expensive. If I want to add my grandparents who live across the street from me, who don't use Netflix that much, but when they do dabble in it, the value for adding another $8 plan doesn't make sense. Support for the Movie Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who have trusted Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code MoviePod at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 14 million balls.
You know what I didn't know I needed, but I needed is an LED light on my shaver.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
There is darkness, especially around that area. It works so well. You can really pinpoint all the hairs and you're like, okay, I got this point. Because hair kind of like starts to mesh and you really don't see it properly. But with this LED light, it's super bright and you can get everything precision cut.
It's a 4000K LED spotlight, so you are literally putting a spotlight to your genitals down there to make sure you're treating them as you should.
The skin safe proprietary technology that they use for the lawnmower is really good. Like, I was always a little hesitant going down there, and then I felt safe. I felt like there was protection there.
Manscaped just makes it so easy to choose a tool, whatever you're using, be it the beard trimmer, the lawnmower, the weed whacker, and it just feels like there is like this accessibility to it that I absolutely love.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MoviePod at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code MoviePod. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job at Manscaped.
Your balls will thank you.
Your balls will thank you.
Your balls will thank you.
So when we're looking at what the email said, is that in the email, Netflix says you can use your account while traveling, so like on vacation. While you travel, you can still easily stream your personal devices or log into Netflix or a new TV, like at a hotel or vacation rental. However, the streaming service does not mention how logging in from an IP connected to your primary location would work. And I think that's the biggest issue right now, is that there are so many questions about this. The messaging that is coming out against this from Netflix is very confusing. So all it looks like it is that I can't use Netflix outside of my house. And they need to really get in front of this message, because I'm hoping it's not as dire as it's sounding, but it really is something where it's like, why are you making these dumb decisions? Because now the narrative, the story behind this is that Netflix is making it harder for you to use Netflix.
Yeah. I think not having a family plan doesn't make sense, Like, especially with everyone has like a family plan.
Yeah.
Like you create an account. I would pay a little bit more for a family plan.
Don't tell them that, Anthony.
But
Don't
you know what I'm saying? Like, I would pay like, what did we pay? $25 for a family plan.
Like Apple Music, for example.
And that would give me
for
5 users, and I can use it wherever I want to use it.
Yeah.
And there's no restrictions. Like, again, I was really,
well, they're giving you that option technically, right? But it's $8.
It's $8, but then the whole traveling thing is very confusing. Do I have to like get a code to put into my phone? Like, when I go to work or when I go out, I like to watch something on my phone.
Yeah.
So you don't want me to watch Netflix when I'm out, or do I have, like, when you add more steps to trying to watch something, it becomes less convenient, and then I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So if you pay the $8, Shay, I don't know if you know this, if you pay the $8, what does that give you? Does that give you 4 simultaneous streams? Does that change anything?
It just gives you another IP address location. I'll pull up the details.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, right? Like, that's where we're at, where it's like, I don't know what I don't know when it comes to this. So I'm like waiting. I haven't gotten the email yet. I haven't set any primary locations yet.
I haven't set a location yet.
Did it ask you, Art? You got the email?
It did. I got the email, and also when I logged into Netflix, I got that notification, and it's like almost like a walkthrough that it makes you do.
Right.
So I think you have until the 21st, or it'll just default to a location that you're signed in.
And then you'll have to change it if you want.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works though.
Yeah.
And you will have to change it, but I don't know.
There's so many questions, and I just think this is such a poorly coordinated effort on Netflix's part to let people know that, hey, this isn't as bad as you think it is, because right now it looks bad. It looks really bad. There's fires everywhere when it comes to this, and Netflix has been in the hot seat for the last year, and I generally think Netflix makes some incredible programming, but it's also like, you're making it hard for me.
You're making it hard for me to root for you.
You know, you're making it hard for me to root for you. If there was more clear messaging behind this, if there wasn't all this extra layers to it, you didn't give me any good news with this. You just gave me the veggies. You didn't give me any like dessert or anything to make it go down easier.
When this news came out, the millennial inside of me wanted to like destroy the
world,
the foundation of streaming services.
Delete the internet.
And it was also it was a day that a lot of wild things was happening. I think that day Disney laid off 7,000 people, and they lost
before that was
2.4 million subscribers. So, and then Netflix like, no, you. So it was a lot of like corporate shit that was coming down from all
the
different
quarter, right? So we were just getting all the shitty ass business news.
So here's some of the details that you get. So invite an extra member to enjoy all of Netflix for $7.99, which is Canadian. They get their own account and password, an existing profile or a new one, so you can do the profile transfer. All of Netflix on one device at a time. And the extra members must be 18 or older and need to be in the same country as the account, and a phone number is required.
That's way too much information.
That's
what,
like,
so what
do
if
you
I
want
just
to picture my passport as well?
I think so. Yeah.
What if I just want to use my account that I use at a different house?
I think you're okay to do that, but it will most likely. I don't know if it's going to ask you for a code.
I think it's
okay, because I think it's if you haven't logged in from your primary location within 30 days, that's when it's going to like prompt you to do the code shit.
Yeah.
But again, we're in this world and it's still very confusing when it comes to it, right? So it's like we won't know until like it's actually implemented.
So here's some frequently asked questions. So how Netflix detects devices within a primary location. We use information such as IP addresses, device IDs, and account activity to determine whether a device signed into your account is connected to your primary location. If a primary location is not set, we will automatically set one for you based on IP address, device ID, and account activity. It's just, again, they don't have all the information out there, which is so silly. It's kind of wild how like it just doesn't make sense, because if you're saying that you can just go vacation travel and there's not much of a hassle, then what makes the difference, like for other people just to log back in same way? Like there's going to be a roadblock.
Do you think this is like scaremongering, where it's like we are going to do this, but it's going to be a lot easier than we are putting it out there?
I don't know, but this is the other thing that I was just thinking of too. How does this come into play when we're dealing with privacy, right?
Yeah.
What if I don't want my app to track me? What if when I'm opening up Netflix and you get that little notification from Apple saying don't share location data. Is Netflix not going to work if you don't share location data? And that opens up a whole other realm of the information that's available on your phone.
So here they have an answer for that.
Oh, let's hear it, Mr. Netflix.
We do not collect GPS data to try to determine the precise physical location of your devices. We use the IP addresses or app to assume its general location, such as city, state, province, and postal code. For example, your primary location may be displayed as near X city or near X state/province.
So if you have family that lives in the same city,
but it's still IP based, so they won't have the same IP as you, right? So your IP address is going to be unique to you, and that's going to be what's going to determine.
But again, like they say that, but that's still giving information that you may not want.
Well, that has to be given out no matter what, right? Like that's just general, like that's like your name.
Yeah.
So that's going to be going out regardless, but the specificity of it for sure won't be.
Right. But it opens up that conversation though, of like what if we don't want,
where do we draw the line?
You know what I mean? And it's like I'm curious if this is going to go any further of like, because like the stupidest things will go like to the Senate or to like the governments for petitions and to stop, to make bills against. I'm wondering if this is something that Netflix is going to get pushed back on from the government. If they can get pushed back on, who knows?
And again, Canada is a small market, like we all know that, and who knows how many Canadians are subscribed to Netflix, so how much of a hit this will give them. It's going to be really interesting to see when it comes to the States, where they're a lot more passionate about how far their dollar goes.
Exactly.
And that's really going to be where the test, I think, comes into play. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I've already canceled, I'm going to cancel, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people, for them, it's just like, it was more of that wake-up call that, I forgot that I still had Netflix, or I was using Netflix, or, I don't use it enough. And with this new thing coming in, I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm going to cancel.
So according to Statista, no relation to me, in 20... what year is it? In between 2018 and 2019, there was 16.2 million Canadians subscribed to Netflix. Now it's looking around 19.6 million.
Okay.
From this. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Just under 20 million people in Canada are subscribed. So it's like basically half our population.
More than half.
Is subscribed. But also, is that including people who just say, I'm subscribed to Netflix, but how many accounts do they have? Because if you were to ask my whole family, they would say yes, but we only have one account.
Yeah, that's why that's that kind of seems
so
wild.
How many accounts on Netflix are there in Canada is a question that Netflix knows the answer.
Yeah.
Right? Well, there could be 20 million people subscribed, but there's only 1 million accounts. So people are sharing like crazy. And that was the other thing that we were talking about too, where it's like this is happening because you're seeing people like on the Twitter thread that we were looking at, where it's like, oh, my roommate's ex-boyfriend's niece was here with her dog, and the dog had Netflix, and we've been logged in for 6 years.
He's been paying. This dog's been paying for Netflix.
And it's like, how the heck are you still using that? Like we're using it properly, right? So it's like you get punished for the.
I've literally seen people's account. Like I've gone to their house, and I'm like, who are these people? Oh,
who's other?
This is my cousin from South Africa who logged me in once. They were here on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
South Africa.
Yeah.
What are they getting? What content are they getting?
Well, they'll be getting user-based content for here though. Like when we go to the States, we get States-based content.
Remember when that was a big deal? Like, I remember in the early days of Netflix, like 2011, like 2012. I remember like trying to get like a VPN to log into Netflix and get the US one because there would be so many more better shows there.
You heard it here, Netflix. That's Daniel Baptista stealing a VPN.
Using a VPN is not illegal.
And a lot of people use VPNs because they don't want their IP to be out there.
Right.
So because it's a privacy concern, even though technology companies will say, well, IPs are public things, but a lot of people like to hide them because they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
So what happens to those?
People that have VPNs enabled on their routers or on their modem devices, that's going to be interesting because a lot of people do use that for security
purposes. And that
purposes.
will hide the IP, right?
Yeah. It'll reroute it basically.
Right. So be like, so could people who are doing
constantly changing,
yeah. So
there's a lot of
so there's things like that. It's like, how is it going to affect those people who want to have that privacy? Like, if I want to watch Netflix now, I have to change my whole router setup and turn it off if I want to. Like,
and there's some guy listening to us right now going like, "You idiots! You have no idea how the internet and network works." Yeah. That's why we have a movie podcast.
Well, if Netflix is basing it off IP, for the money that you're spending for that high tier, you should have the option of setting up your account with 4 different IPs. Is that like one house with 5 people should not be charged more than what and that's currently what they're saying. So if I'm paying for 4 user accounts, I should have 4 different IP accounts that I can then give out to people.
But I even feel like that they're like, oh, okay, now we're inviting 4 different households to use that IP account, and then you're opening it up to like, oh, do we have to connect back? And then people in that house will start using it, because 4 IPs, 4 different households. How many people per household now? Right. So it's like, but like, let's Netflix say 4 people per house. That's now 16 people using one Netflix account, and Netflix is like, no.
But they're already charging more than they should be charging. 22 something, right, for their highest tier. That's the highest streaming service out there.
But that's what they valued it at, right? They think that, okay,
we pay it, and people stay subscribed to it.
I think at minimum it should be 2 households, and the reason why is there are a lot of people that they have separated families, etc., etc. Like there's so many different situations there where I think 2 makes the most sense.
And I don't think the solution is, oh, they can now pay $8.99. So it's like, wait, hold on a second.
For one device at a time.
One device at a time, it's like we're still paying the $22, and then we're going to add another $8 for one more person to use it. Like that doesn't make sense. I hate the way this has come out.
I'm not a fan of this. I do not like this. This sucks. This generally sucks.
Now, if this is successful, what happens to all the other streaming services out there? Do they watch what Netflix does and says, okay,
this could set a precedent moving forward.
Let's implement it with successful. Apple TV Plus, with Disney Plus, and now this change that's happening because there's such a big company is going to chain react, hopefully in a bad way for the streaming market. Because if you don't, we are fucked. So as a people, as an audience, as we need to like figure this out, and like if we have to cancel the accounts, we cancel the accounts, because we don't want this to happen down the road with Disney Plus, with Apple TV Plus, with Amazon Prime, with Paramount Plus.
Well, this is the thing, right?
And like, now we're paying as much as cable.
Yeah, and you're up there.
I think we're more now with all these streaming services.
I'm curious though to see. Disney Plus would probably be the biggest one to keep the eyes on, to see what they do. I mean, they just introduced their tier with ads on it, so I'm really curious to see. Like, they would be the one, because Prime Video, you get Prime Video from Amazon, and Prime Video is such a drop in the bucket compared to what Amazon does in terms of like money wise. Apple TV has their family sharing accounts where you can share, and it is also a lot smaller of a subscriber base compared to Netflix and Disney Plus. So Disney Plus would be the next big one. Whatever Disney Plus does next is going to set the precedent for everything that follows, I think.
Yeah. Well, if any of that comes down the pipeline, be sure to listen to our show, because we will have that news for you. Let's move on to our second news story. Daniel and Shahbaz had the opportunity to join the Ant-Man press conference. What did you guys think of it?
It's really cool. So Ant-Man and The Wasp: Quantumania obviously coming out this week. We love working with Disney Studios here in Canada, so we got to attend the press conference and see the entire cast: Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Paul Rudd, Jonathan Majors, Kathryn, Evangeline Lilly,
the writer
Peyton Reed was there, Kevin Feige was
Randall
there,
Park was
moderating it. Yeah, so it was a huge event. I think just the fun thing with these press conferences obviously is they sometimes will talk about spoilers, because everyone in the press conference
around it,
have seen the movie up to that, and obviously we have seen the movie. My highlight for the press conference, I want you to tell me your highlight, too, Shay. Michael Douglas was asked, Michael Douglas was talking. I think Michael Douglas was one of my favorite parts of Quantumania, because he's just so badass in it, and it's fun seeing him just be Hank Pym, like he is Ant-Man. He's like, Kevin, I got to ask you, I keep hearing phase 5. He's like, what's a phase?
Yeah.
And like,
it was such a Michael Douglas question. Like,
he's just like, I'm just in these movies, I have no idea what's going on. So Kevin Feige just like laughs, everyone laughs. He's like, well, Michael, with the first Iron Man movie, all the way up to Avengers, we consider that like phase 1. of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. From there, like, and he was just explaining what phases are to Michael Douglas.
So funny.
Which I thought was just so fun to see. And Michael Douglas was just like, oh wow, like,
that makes sense.
That's that's
how many movies are there? You know,
what was my character again?
Yeah. So I'm an ant, right?
Yeah.
No, you're not an ant.
I don't voice an ant.
No, but that was really cool. And I think anytime you get to see the cast together, just talking about the movie, you could tell that they just had a great time making it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the great part. And there's a great cast in this movie as well too. So Shay, how about you?
No, I think there was a lot of great questions being kind of thrown around there. That Michael Douglas one obviously definitely killed me. There were some great questions towards Kathryn as well. I think that Kathryn Newton, who was trying to answer them, as I think talking about like some of her favorite days on set or her first day on set, and she was trying to talk about what that moment was like, and you can just see Kevin Feige just start to kind of like
his eyes, I think, were starting to glow red.
Yeah, he's like don't say any more. But it was cool hearing her talk about her first Marvel movie ever, not just MCU anything, was Iron Man, aka the start of the the MCU, and how much she loved it and how it was like so important for her in high school. So that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Obviously, we have a full week of coverage coming your way from it, so look forward to all of that. Also, I think Paul Rudd, I think, is just so lovable, and he got a lot of, obviously, being the namesake of the movie, but just coming to this role, and obviously having Jonathan Majors, who is getting a lot of attention for this movie. We all, I think, we love Jonathan Majors, and we're so excited to see what he's going to do in the MCU, and you really get the taste of that in Quantumania of like what's coming next for as the big bad villain of this movie, and just kind of hearing him talking about like preparing and thinking about, okay, like how am I going to make each variant of Kang distinct, but also like feel like a presence. So there's lots to look forward to. Obviously, we don't want to get into too much spoilers, but yeah, look forward to more this week. We have a review coming out on Tuesday at noon at Eastern time, and then Wednesday we'll have our sit down interview with Kathryn that will be coming out for you to watch and listen and enjoy on the YouTube. So do that, please.
Cool. Sad news. This is our next story. I know this is important to you guys because you are a fan of the show. Reboot has been canceled. That's a tough break for such a new show. I believe this was airing on Hulu, and they were canceled. And what happened was they were searching for a new home, and they couldn't find a home for it, and the show was discontinued. And I don't think it's canceled completely. I know it was so quick. It was like 1 month or a couple of weeks. It was canceled, and then the next week it was like, no, we can't find a home. It's fully canceled. And this was starring
Keegan-Michael Key, Johnny Knoxville, Judy Greer, created by Steve Levitan, who created Modern Family. Johnny Knoxville's in this. You had a really huge stacked cast. Also, oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the actress who was in my Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Rachel Bloom. Yeah, Rachel Bloom, who was you had a stacked cast in the show, and I generally think it's one of the funniest shows that I've watched in recent years, and obviously it has such great comedy, and it had a little bit more edge to it because it was on streaming. It's a huge bummer to lose this. I really hope it somehow finds a show, but
I hope it finds somewhere to kind of restart or revive itself, reboot in a way.
The revival.
Because
change the name of it.
Change the name of the show. It's not helping it. It's such a phenomenal show, and I highly recommend. I know that like some people now go, well, there's no second season, but the first season is just so much fun. You're gonna have a great time with it. It's really, really funny. It's just really damn good. It's not too long either, so you can literally just sit there one night, binge the whole thing, and you'll have a great time. Highly recommend it. We had so much fun with it.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's Steve Levitan, obviously he put out a statement saying like, watch it on Hulu if you could find it. Because I think he was upset of how the marketing for the show was handled. And then we've spoken about this before too. I don't think the name of the show helps. I think when you name a show Reboot, you think of Reboot here.
Yeah, I assume the CG computer generated cartoon
from Canada.
Yeah.
But also like I just don't think like when you look up Reboot show, you think of shows that are being rebooted. You don't think of that show.
Yeah.
And I think they should have kept the name of what the sitcom was in the original show, which was Step Right Up.
Step Right Up, yeah.
Which I think would have been a lot more memorable for people to, step right up and watch it.
Absolutely.
He hashtagged it unintentional limited series. Oh. That's a little jab. Little stab.
Little jab. That'll be at the Emmys this year.
But yeah, I think with all the news that's come around it, I think people or someone will pick it up. I know they won't pick it up now, but I feel like if there's enough love for it, or hopefully there's a streaming service out there that wants it, they'll get it, you know?
I hope so. But the thing is too, I just wonder, like, what did it even leave a big enough splash to have that audience, you know, campaigning for it, like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine did, or a lot of shows that, you know, have the fans, you know, supporting it to come back.
It didn't.
When I look at Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I don't see this big hoop. Like, I know it's big, but I feel like the fan base is still small for Brooklyn. I never watched it. I watched a couple of.
It was big, man. Like,
watched a couple of episodes. I'm like, meh. It feels like
when it got canceled, it was like a huge social media push. Like, that's all I saw for like days, and then it got picked up, I think, a few days later.
It was that because of Sandberg, or was it because there was a love for the show?
It was a love for the show that kept it alive, right? And it did 8 seasons, so it was there. And for the show not to even get it past 1, like, this is just the casualty of what the streaming market is today. If you're not a hit after season 1, you're not coming back.
And there's also the news that, like, Disney, because of their last quarter, might be thinking of selling Hulu. Like, there's a lot of things that are on the table. Can you imagine if, like, they're like, oh, we're gonna sell Hulu anyway, and they cancel this show, and this show could have, you know,
the new buyer could have wanted to keep it.
Yeah, right. It's just like, that sucks, and it's always sucky for a good show to be canceled. And that was the biggest thing with Netflix too, being, oh, I don't like watching Netflix because they cancel good shows, and that's why I'm gonna cancel. It's this weird world with streaming services, because you create these fan bases, but if it's not in the algorithm of what's watched or generating some sort of revenue for them, you're not. You could be. Look at Mindhunter. That was like, we loved that show.
We loved it. It was, and that's
but a lot of people didn't.
Did a lot of people not love the show?
A lot of, like,
well, I mean, like, maybe a lot of people didn't watch it enough to
and I know that it was also a very expensive show for Netflix to make as well. And Netflix, they've talked about that recently as well, where they've said that we don't cancel popular shows,
right? And
I'm always curious about that, because where we see that whenever a show gets canceled, there is that outcry that comes from, you know, Twitter and social media. And it kind of just fizzles away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Netflix, at the end of the day, they're like, guys, we have the numbers. Like, people could, like, there'll always be people complaining that it's gone. Like, Mindhunter was an amazing show.
Well, you said Mindhunter. Yeah, the way you said it was kind of interesting. Like, you're a serial killer.
Mindhunter was an amazing show, but it wasn't a popular show.
No,
and it clearly
it also wasn't critiqued well too. Like, a lot of critics or a lot of people who live in the TV industry didn't like it just because it was really slow pace and methodical, and that's the
David Fincher thing,
it was
right?
too good for them, huh? Okay.
And here's the thing. Then you have a show that kind of swings a completely different direction. I haven't watched Dahmer, so I can't speak to it. But unless it's like a lot more in your face and it gets right to it a lot faster, those are the shows that will be popular. Like, they 100%. Want the shows that drive people in that are like, oh my god, this is crazy. Yeah, there's you have to watch it,
because it's like, in a way, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, to Netflix and the viewers that watch this stuff, a lot of that stuff that gets really popular on Netflix, and I'm one of the causes of the problem too, because I do this sometimes. Those things are like junk food.
Yeah,
you know, like that, like Dahmer and stuff. It's great and all. I haven't seen it, but it's like junk food. Like, it's very, like, quick, easy to absorb, get it out, and that's
watch it. It's very digestible. You just watch it. You get immediate gratification from it.
Exactly.
Where with Mindhunter, it's like, you're not getting a payoff in 10 episodes. We'll see you in episode 9, where shit really is paid off from the last 8 episodes.
Exactly. Right? But it's like a full course meal where, like, every bite you're having is like, my God, this is delicious. Like, this is so good.
Yeah.
But again, it's not digestible the same way.
No.
And I think that's what it is. Like, a lot of the shows that are more methodical do get canceled out because, you know, people aren't willing to just binge through them.
Right. They want that junk food.
They want the junk food.
And that's why junk food's really popular, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's not that that's wrong. It's just that's what's there. That's what people like, and
it makes you happy,
right?
And that's fine.
And Mindhunter very much always had the vibe of HBO too.
Absolutely.
Like, Mindhunter week to week on HBO felt like so much more of a home for it.
Felt like True Detective.
Exactly. So it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen moving forward. I know David Fincher has a home with Netflix right now, but.
And it didn't hurt their relationship, because he made 2 films now.
He's made 2 films for them now, so I'm curious what's going to be next for him, right?
Yeah. Let's Let's go on to our last news story. James Gunn says Zack Snyder supports the new DC universe. In response to fans urging Netflix to buy Snyderverse, it hasn't expressed interest. This is coming from Zach Schraff of Variety. James Gunn revealed on Twitter that he has spoken with Zack Snyder about a new DC universe. Gunn, along with Peter Safran, is the head of DC Studios and is rebooting the DC universe with a new slate of films and television series, including a new Superman, Batman, and Robin. Snyder was the architect of the previous DC universe, commonly referred to as the Snyderverse, which launched with The Man of Steel and included films such as Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, and more. Some Snyder fans have been using Twitter to urge Warner Brothers to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix so the director can continue on his comic book universe. Sorry for laughing because it's so funny to even read it. I have to say, this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever. Gunn responded to one fan calling for a Snyderverse sale. Number 1, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. And number 2, Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we too have talked. He contacted me to express his support about my choices. Gunn added of Snyder, he's a great guy again. He seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now. So, what do you guys think? Now, I know a lot of Snyderverse people will probably look at that and say, you know what? They just got that out of... They don't believe it, or if they do believe it, they think it's coerced in some sort of way. But what do you think of this whole Snyderverse being sold to Netflix, James Gunn's, reaction to it, and when will this ever end?
That's a great question.
When does this ever end with this Snyderverse world? Because, Zack clearly doesn't want to be a part of it. He's doing his thing. And this movement that's happening in social media, and I don't know if it's a movement, but it's there. It's continuous. And it's been 12 or 13 years of this.
Of what? The Snyderverse?
Of the Snyderverse. Of this constant... We want to continue the story. We want now Netflix to own the rights. Like, this is not in the plan of Gunn's, environment that he wanted. This is not an Elseworld story at this point. It's a franchise that doesn't exist anymore.
Time to move on, I think at a certain point, with no disrespect to anybody that is, a fan of the Snyderverse or has been campaigning or has mortgaged their house to fly planes, it's time to move on. I think, we all love these characters. We all love, watching movies and stuff, but at a certain point, you have to realize what's bigger out there in the world, and the kind of vitriol and absolute venom that you're sometimes spewing out there. It doesn't make any sense, wasting your precious time hashtagging restore the Snyderverse or release the Snyderverse or
sell the Snyderverse
for Netflix, anything. Like, use that time to maybe do something better for yourself or better for the environment or better for the world, because honestly, it's done. Like,
it's over.
It's not. And I blame Warner Brothers for having released the Snyder cut of Justice League. We were so excited, but it really opened up a floodgate to make things a lot worse. And we got that movie, and I think that should have been for everybody this is it. We wrapped it up and goodbye. I think Zack Snyder is happy to move on. He's making a movie with Netflix right now called Rebel Moon. He's going to keep developing that world. Get excited for that, but let's put the DCEU to rest.
This is something that's been going on a long time, and I think James Gunn has the patience of a saint going into this, because you got to commend him for just being out there replying to the most random of troll accounts, to stuff like this, right? Like, James Gunn, you wonder, like, he has millions of followers. You wonder what they'll see sometimes. Like, does he see this? Does he see this campaign? I just wish that there's two things I wish: that Zack Snyder would put out a statement saying,
100%.
I'm done. Like, let's close the door on this.
Stop liking those tweets.
Stop liking and interacting with those tweets. Stop harassing people. Like, not him. I'm saying for him to tell this legion of fans, stop harassing people. you'll see it on underneath posts for the Magic Mike, like Last Dance, restore the Snyderverse. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like Magic Mike doesn't care about this.
Do you think that the person that's doing the social media for Warner Brothers can be like, God, set this right up. I'm gonna send this right up.
We'll
to the
send this
team.
right to the top.
Yeah.
You know, like no, just leave it alone. You know, I would love for Zack to put out a statement of that. You know what? You never know what he may come and work on later down the road. Sure, but you know, for right now, the Snyderverse is ending. I also get that you can't really, you know, kill that world because, you know, they still have movies coming out from it. They have Shazam, they have The Flash, they have Aquaman. All this year, a lot is riding on Warner Brothers, and that's why James Gunn has been playing a little coy where it's like, we'll see who comes back. The door is always open. We're always in discussions. I think next year, once all these films are out, it's like, yeah, no, this is brand new territory. Don't worry about anything that's come before. But you gotta move on. Like James Gunn has listed us. He's giving us a new Superman movie. You know, we haven't spoken about it on the show yet. We're getting a new Superman movie in 2 years.
Well, you've been crying for the past couple of weeks. That's why.
Yeah, you know, we've had to take time to
Tears
recover.
of joy.
Finally, it's going to be a younger Superman, balancing Superman and Clark Kent. I love it. Give that
Superman
to
legacy.
me. Let's see what it's going to be. We're going to get another Batman movie, which is going to be interesting with the Brave and the Bold. Not a big fan of the name. I know it comes from the comics, but it sounds like a soap opera. I don't know.
The Young and the Restless.
You know what I mean? The Brave and the Bold.
I don't think they stick with that name. By the time this movie comes out, I don't think that name will be changed to something else.
I don't see how in a world where you have Batman and Robin and other characters in your film, where you can't have them in the title of the film.
Batman and Robin. That's it.
Like, just call it Batman and Robin and take over the name. Make that movie like Batman and Robin. You could now turn it into something for good.
Because it's so tough though. If you look at it, like they have already the Batman, right?
Yeah. But you know that they're going to have hashtag Batman will be whatever emoji for that movie when it's coming out, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's just. Do you wonder about the general audience out there that's like, that just doesn't get it? Like, no, I already saw the Batman movie. Well, no, that was the other one last year. But I didn't see that one. I did. Maybe I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Like, but are you gonna ask people? Have you seen the Brave and the Bold? They're like, is that a soap opera? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't disagree with the name.
Yeah.
Thing,
So I'm curious if they keep that name or if they're going to be like Batman and Robin, Brave and the Bolds, or it's like Brave and the Bold, like Batman and Robin : the Brave and the Bolds. Or if they do something just like weird with it, I don't know. Just because I'm not a huge fan of the name, but then we're getting really weird with like Creature Commandos, and, you know, Themyscira like show, and then the Green Lantern True Detective style show. Like it's an exciting time to start getting hopeful again for DC, but I almost don't care until we start to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the approachability to these titles, they're interesting because I feel like James Gunn has a lot of value in his audience, saying, I believe they will know when we do Brave and the Bold, Batman and Robin, they'll understand that that's different than the Batman. You know, I think he's putting, but I don't have that.
But then you also wonder, we had Suicide Squad and then we had the Suicide Squad, and people didn't show up for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Right. And here's the thing too, you wonder as well with that, it's like it should have been more of a box office hit because it's an amazing movie, but also released August 2021,
right?
Where it's like theaters weren't really back yet, and you would have thought it would have been a bigger box office success because the first Suicide Squad, regardless of the critical reaction, made almost $800 million.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like it should have,
but even people didn't like it.
People didn't like it, but they showed up for it.
Yeah,
right. So it's like,
I think everyone showed up because they wanted to see Joker. They wanted to see
and this
Batman.
This one was like,
and it didn't happen.
And it was the early days of the DCEU where people were excited because, like, oh, Batman vs Superman was it was what it was, but maybe the Suicide Squad is, because again, the marketing for Suicide Squad was
phenomenal.
Amazing.
It was creating that world, even though it wasn't cohesive.
Yeah. So.
And
this is where we are.
People didn't show up for the Suicide Squad.
What are you guys most excited about? You guys already know my answer for this. It's Creature Commandos.
Of course.
What are you guys most excited for out of the slate of films that James Gunn announced?
To be honest, I think I'm the most excited. Well, obviously for Superman, because the last one we got was in 2013. Yep. So I really want a new Superman movie. I really want to know who they're going to cast. But if I had to be a little bit different, it would have to be Brave and the Bold, because it's such a brave and bold decision to have two Batman movies from the same studio that are different Batman.
Yeah.
I think that's so interesting. That's so unique to me that I want to know how it's going to fare box office wise, and also are they going to be tonally different? Like,
they have to.
There's just so many questions I have about that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited for what that's going to be. Plus, we haven't gotten Robin on the screen since 1997.
Jerry O'Connell's coming back. Is it Jerry? No, Chris O'Connell.
Chris O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, I think of General O'Connell. Like,
and obviously not
Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Connell.
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Why am I saying O'Connell?
You're thinking of Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Onnell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not obviously including Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who like his legal name, like Robin in the suit with the nipples. There's got to be like a magical and like there's going to be like a magical and supernatural elements to this Batman.
That's how you differentiate it. Absolutely, right? You make it like that. You have Damian Wayans as the
Damon Wayans.
I was saying in my head not to say Damian Wayne. But
wasn't he almost Robin too? And,
he was
almost Robin in Batman Forever.
Damian Wayans?
Yeah.
Damon Wayans.
Wait.
Damian Wayans is...
No, Damian Wayne.
Sorry.
I'm saying Damian Wayans by accident, like the director and Wayans brothers.
So it's Damon Wayans, is it not?
I don't know anymore. Now
Marlon Wayans was almost
Marlon Wayans was, but Damon Wayans
almost
is the
Robin
director
in Michael Keaton's Batman.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And it was cast, and it was like cast, but they didn't end up.
Damien is the other brother who's a director.
Yes.
Yeah, so Damian Wayne.
Yeah, Damian Wayne.
It'd be cool to see him because he's such a little shit.
He's a little shit for sure. Yeah. And again, we started off the movie podcast back in 2019. Like our first topic of the show was like, pitching our Batman movie, and now it's like we're gonna have to. We should do an episode where we're just
Army Hammer coming back.
No. Where we just kind of try and figure out like who's gonna be Batman, who's gonna be Superman, who's gonna be Robin. What are they going to do moving forward?
What are they going to do different? And that's, I think, where I'm at.
What's going to be different?
What's going to be different? Because I'm excited for a Superman, but it's not the most exciting thing that I heard from that press conference. The Superman, he flies, he's super strong, he's a symbol of hope. We've seen that in so many different versions of his movie. Like, what's different about this Superman? And I'm interested to see what James Gunn does with this character.
Do you think James Gunn's going to direct it?
I don't think so, because
interesting.
I just think he has so much under his plate, and I don't know if he wants to be like, the captain of the whole ship. Like, he is the captain of the whole ship, but I don't want him to be every single facet of this.
He's going to direct everything
of this universe,
and that's also the issue where we kind of what happened with Zack Snyder, where it's like he's a director, but he's also now the figurehead of this universe. I think if there is going to be a series that's directed by James Gunn, it will be Superman, because that's going to be the true jumping off point of what the DCU is going to be. But who knows? But also, I think one of the most exciting things that he said is that, we're going to see characters in live action and animation played by the same actors whenever it's possible.
And gaming.
And gaming and having those stories. So I'm like, this is very ambitious. Is this going to be possible? How long is this going to take?
The production cycle for all the different types of media that he's describing is so vast and different. Like, gaming takes years to make, while movies definitely take some time as well. Within 2 years, you can kind of pump it out, right? But a game will be like 7 years, 6 years even sometimes. So you got to wonder, how are you going to maneuver the storytelling and prepare for the worst?
If there is going to be delays, like what's going to be crucial to the gaming world? Like, is there a story that's going to be told on the games that you would feel like has to be really fun and really engaging and really big to constitute being a video game? Is that going to be required playing before watching a show or a movie?
I can see them backpedal on that part. I can see them eventually be like, we weren't able to do games the way that we intended to do them,
or like, or
TV and movies we can.
Or are they going to consider games elsewhere, or Elseworlds?
Yeah,
where they're going to like, Elseworlds project, this story.
Right.
Also, the Elseworlds banner, very interesting, because we know that Joker 2 and the Batman Part 2 are going to have that too, right?
Yeah, and then the one that we're getting is Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters is the name of this chapter 1. Yeah. So there's a lot. There's a lot happening.
The most thing I was going to say, the thing that excited me the most was the Green Lantern, because the show, because they said it's very similar to like a true detective story where they Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are investigating some sort of murder or crime,
right?
Space crime. So
Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart together is
that's such
awesome.
a different take on, like, let's build a superhero film. Let's or series. Let's get these characters who are essentially space police, have them investigate some sort of murder, crime, big thing, event that will lead into something huge. And I like that. And when they said True Detective, it just made like, oh, that's different. That's something I haven't seen in a Marvel series before, or a Marvel movie, or any type of, other than the Batman, which is so detective focused and crime focused, is grounded in that sense. Even though I know, these characters are space police, it's something sci-fi,
space cops.
But when you ground it with a story, and that's why I love Identity Crisis, because it was these superheroes that had to deal with this real grounded, raw situation happens. I don't know if you guys have read it. I mentioned it many times. You should read it because it deals with some heavy storylines, but it's so grounded and it's so real that you feel like, whoa, this is such a different way of looking at superheroes. Instead of them just being, I'm gonna punch the bad guy and we're gonna win the day. When you ground them, that's where you like really build that audience, because people can like, oh, I understand, and then you can kind of like pull them into this universe.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm curious though, because we're getting Squadron Supreme, right?
Are we?
Is that the name of the team that they announced that's going to be a thing?
Who? James Gunn?
James Gunn announced that there's other.
There is another team. I totally forgot.
So it's like we're getting Creature Commandos. We're going to be getting the Justice League. We're getting Batman and Robin, and then we're getting. I think it's Squadron Supreme. I think is what was announced. We're going to get a confirmation. We're going to get a confirmation, but it's like those are a lot of teams that we're getting introduced right out of the gates in this world, right? And then we're also going to have the Waller show. So there's a lot going on. I don't know what's going to happen with Swamp Thing and James Mangold, and then Peacemaker. I don't know, like what's coming forward from the old world. What's moving forward? There's so many question marks.
I don't want anybody. No scrubs. I don't want anybody from the DCEU to come into the DCU. I want it to be so fresh, so clean.
Yeah, like Outcast.
Exactly. Like just because.
What other like 90s-ish songs could be referenced right now?
I'm feeling blue that they're that they're using still. They haven't addressed that part yet.
Right.
I think this is how you differentiate it. This is how you really make it feel fresh. And this is how you also just cut off that Snyderverse tie.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of baggage comes. The actors that are connected in these films, right?
And it sucks.
It's the authority. Squadron Supreme is Marvel.
Yeah. So
it's authority.
But it's like there's a lot of these teams that we're getting that I'm like, oh wow, we're getting a lot of characters introduced all at once.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. There's a lot. There's a lot happening.
Let's move on to some box office. Cha-ching!
Wait, is it? He only does it, right?
Anthony only does it
when he hosts.
But you know what? It's 2023.
It's a different world now.
It's a different world now. We're living in a different world.
Yeah. I'm going to kick it to Shay for some box office, some Titanic box office.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned Titanic box office, because the box office this week was not strong, in the sense that not a single film hit double digits. And especially when you have films that are debuting this week as well. So Magic Mike, this is the domestic box office as well. Magic Mike debuted at 8 million. Avatar: The Way of Water came in at second with 6.8. And then you have James Cameron's other film, Titanic, with 6.4.
Jeez.
Now we're leading into the Super Bowl this weekend, or as the have already won. That little blank pause there. Insert team name.
Somebody's 100% going to look at their phone like, did my episode stop?
Yeah, did my
AirPod fall out?
Since they won, you'd think that 80 for Brady would have done more, but it only made about 6 million this weekend.
6 million?
6 million this weekend.
In the second weekend.
Damn.
I think so. Second weekend, I feel,
right?
They
didn't bring in the audience that it
number
wanted to bring
4.
in.
Yeah.
I don't think they could get to the theater.
No, they couldn't. They were probably, yeah.
You know how much money 80 for Brady has made so far, though?
800 million.
Oh my goodness, man. No, it's actually made. I don't know if it's including this weekend's box office.
Is this worldwide or domestic?
This is worldwide.
Worldwide. Interesting. Just because football is not a worldwide sport, I know it's...
But the actresses are. That's the thing. Jane Fonda...
Oh, sorry. It has not opened international. Okay. So this is technically including all the worldwide, but it's only domestic. It's made $20 million.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
On a $28 million budget.
That makes sense.
So I'm not sure if it's including these numbers yet, but
that makes sense. 20 million makes sense. Knock at the Cabin dropped to 5th with 4 million. But this
is a big drop though.
That is a big drop
for a second weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very. But this does now kind of change the order of the highest grossing films, which are now all there. This is a triple A category, and I say this because Avatar, Avengers, and Avatar: The Way of Water are your top 3 films now.
Yeah, but how long is Avatar going to stay in third with Titanic making more money, right? So Titanic probably just went past it again. It sailed past it. It stayed afloat until probably next weekend, where it's
we'll see. We'll now see. Yeah, exactly. Like it's interesting. James Cameron's fighting himself really at this point.
Who isn't fighting?
Who isn't fighting?
When you look at worldwide and domestic, do you hold one higher than the other? Because when I look at domestic, Avatar: Way of the Water is number 10, but worldwide it's number 3. So like.
Money is money for the studio. Right? They're like, worldwide, we made this money. That's all that matters.
But they're gonna make more money worldwide for sure, right?
As a someone who loves movies and loves films, and we do this. Do you always look at the domestic as the real? This is what the real number is.
I'll be honest. I rarely look at domestic unless it's breaking a record.
Correct.
It's always for me. I'm always looking at look how much money this.
I care about the world. Okay, I care about everybody.
I'm just wondering because
I'm only about the domestic.
A lot of people are like, well, we don't care. Like I don't care what they watch in Croatia or wherever.
Yeah.
It's
so
really
specific.
I just named our friends.
I wasn't sure. If I don't know what country you're gonna pick either, because you're like, I'm like Korea, Croatia. I'm like, we haven't talked about Croatia.
No, but it's true though, because there are people out there that will only look at domestic. When I see numbers reported, sometimes I'm like, that's low. I'm like, oh wait, they're reporting domestic numbers.
I don't even like domestic numbers.
The only time I look at domestic numbers is when I'm looking at the weekend box office. Because that's what kind of applies to us, and those are the records that we look at. But after that, it's like worldwide, baby.
Worldwide all day.
Where do you think Ant-Man lands?
Next weekend? Number one?
No, but in its entirety in the theater.
Oh, in terms of world. Oh, how much money?
Yeah, how much do you think you'll make?
I think 6 to 7.
6 to 7.
Between 6 to 7.
100% 6 to 7.
That's usually where Ant-Man's been.
600 million, 700 million.
Yeah. If we look
I think with the way the reviews are going to come out for this one, which will be interesting. I'm curious where it sits. I'm also curious. This is the one, it's being heavily marketed as Kang. There's a lot of emotional stakes in this one. So you kind of got to wonder.
Because you have so the first Ant-Man movie made $519 million worldwide. Ant-Man and the Wasp made $622 million worldwide, which is crazy because both of those are more money than what, Man of Steel made, which is crazy to think. And I think this one being, the Kang movie, and we know that Avengers: The Kang Dynasty is coming, you're going to get a big push from audiences want to see what's next for the Avengers. So I think that people will definitely show up. 657. I just want to confirm something. Ant-Man and the Wasp also made $30 million less than what Justice League made, which is also a crazy thought to hear. The Justice League movie didn't even pass $700 million. Wild. This is why we're getting a reboot. But I think Ant-Man and the Wasp will probably finish the best of the trilogy money wise, because people are excited to see Kang, and it'll probably do north of 650 to 750 is where I estimate it will finish.
Yeah, and that's like Black Panther Wakanda 2 money.
Wakanda Forever, I think
it was 740, right?
I think it got to
800.
Sorry, I'm looking at I might be thinking domestic or
Wakanda Forever did 842 million worldwide.
Yeah. And again, that will do much better. It reviewed really well as well. But now we're also in this era now of, as it becomes more of a popular trend, people are starting to really notice that 45 days or however many days it's going to be on Disney Plus.
Right.
So now we're also in that era of, okay, as it becomes more and more apparent, do they need to go see it in theaters?
Yeah. And I'm also curious with the legs, how many legs did this ant have?
I think 6.
6 legs, right? Ants have 6 legs. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not
an ant specialist.
Aren't you the Ant-Man?
Because I'm Anthony?
Yeah.
Anthony.
I think they do.
They have 6 legs.
Yeah, they have 6 legs.
So
I'm just trying to picture it in my mind.
Ant-Man's going to have a great 2 weeks, and then then it's going to start fighting Creed, and then it's going to start fighting Shazam, and then there's every week in March is a big film. So
ants don't have lungs. That's what I just figured out.
How long do ants live, Shay?
Not long. I'll take a look in a second. But
ants don't have lungs?
They don't have lungs, man. Isn't that crazy? But they do have 6 legs.
How's it supposed to run that long?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? They are as old as dinosaurs.
Oh my god.
They can't swim.
Yeah.
They have 2 stomachs, but no lungs.
2 stomachs, no lungs.
Yeah, that's unfair. Some ant species are asexual. That's good.
Good for them.
Good for them. There are a lot of ants in the world. Ants don't have ears.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say one of the facts you had there is there's a lot of ants in the world?
That's what this website decided to put on here because
that's literally when you're writing an essay and you're trying to figure
fill in
out
the words. Yeah.
What else can I say facts about ants?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ants in the world.
They don't have ears.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But they have their antennas, right?
Oh, yes.
Which we knew about, yeah. And they don't have breath. Ants, how do ants breathe? Ants breathe in oxygen through spiracles, which are a series of holes located on the sides of their bodies. The spiracles are connected through a network of tubes which help distribute the oxygen to almost every cell in their body.
Damn.
I just need a lifespan, dude.
We literally became National Geographic right now.
That has been ant facts with Shahbaz.
Can we have ant facts?
Ant facts every week.
Ant facts every week. How long do ants live? Oh, buddy, let me tell you right now. Ants live, your typical black garden ant, about 1 to 2 years.
Oh, good for them. Okay.
Pharaoh ant, 4 to 12 months. Man, they don't have a long lifespan at all.
What about
most of these won't even be here for the movie coming out.
No, that's unfortunate. So whatever ants starred in the first Ant-Man
they
film,
never see the trilogy.
It's like their great grandkids who are now starring in Quantumania.
Yeah, literally. They're like, I remember.
Is it because they're eaten by like other insects or like?
You know what?
We'll
save that for next week.
Okay.
We'll save that fact.
I just want to know what like the lifespan of a healthy ant is. You know, like I want are you gonna, if you have an ant that lives a long life, like is it going to?
That's the question we should have asked.
Is it like die of old age?
Are ants happy?
You're asking, do they die of old age?
Yeah.
Like if you had one,
do you have a retirement plan or what?
Yeah.
Like what is there?
Do ants that? Do you guys ever have an ant farm?
No.
There
was wasn't there like a?
I felt like that was always a
band?
thing growing up.
I feel like it was a thing. But we had one in school.
Alien ant farm? No.
We had in school, like in grade probably like 4 and under. We had like an ant farm.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the kids ate the ants. You know,
that's
kids
not good. That's why they don't have a long.
They're not anymore. Yeah.
The kids, not
the kids and the ants. Yeah.
God.
I want to give a shout out to Shay for being my hero this week because of my reaction to Ant-Man. Someone posted a bunch of bullshit, and Shay came out and
that was me actually tweeting.
He punched
He nicely punched him.
He nicely punched him.
Look, with words. At the end of the day, and I'm not going to give this person any clout at all or any publicity, but when you're a Toronto creator and you have an audience and you're backing it up and you come after one of us, expect us to come back after you.
You come after one of us. You come after all of us.
Like they basically, Anthony, your tweet about Ant-Man was your honest opinion. At no point did I feel like, oh my God, you're being like vile about this movie. Like we've seen some vile reaction tweets to movies.
Extremely.
Yours was like this, hey, like I didn't like it that much, and this is the reason why. And there are some good things here, but overall, not for me. And this person was like, "Oh, you only have this many followers, and like, did someone sneak you?
Yeah,
did your friend sneak you in the theater, dude? Shut up! Like you, first of all, like I get it. You have your Twitch stream and whatever you do out there, and it's awesome for you. Good for you. Why are you coming after somebody from the same city as you who's also trying to get their own way?
Yeah,
that is unnecessary. That is unrude. Big other people up in the industry that you're with, because that is how we all grow and become better. Do not ever bring people down.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like you look at that and I'm like, Shay, you handled it so well. You handled very like politely, but also just like, listen, like what are you doing? Look, do better. And at the end of the day, do better.
Yeah.
We've been like my tweet for it too. It's like I praised the movie for a lot of things that it does, and I at the end of it I said I did miss some of the comedic charm from the first 2 films.
And what everyone think that meant?
I got that as an attack saying, we won. There's no jokes in this movie. There's no like I got one this morning that was like, no lame jokes. This is exactly what we needed. I'm like, hold on, where did I say that?
Yeah.
I just said that there's a charm that was a little bit more comedic from the other films
that's missing,
that I missed in this movie. And people saw that as like fuck you, forever laughing or smiling.
I just did that right now.
You should not be feeling that when watching a movie. I want them to be dark and edgy. And it's like, hold on a second. Just think about what you're saying. Think about what I said, and then watch the movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. This is the world that we're in. And when you see these reactions, we're lucky that we get to watch things early. We're lucky that we get to talk about them early. But it's also like, you know, this is what comes with it, and it kind of sucks. We came from the camps growing up where it's like, you don't have something nice to say,
don't say it.
Don't say it. You know,
we always try to be positive about everything, right? At the end of the day, if we don't like something, we'll talk about the good things about it, because there will be a lot of people talking about the bad things about it.
And we could still be critical of something, as we always say. Be critical, but don't be negative. Be honest, but don't be mean.
Right.
You know, there's a fine line, and you know what? It's not even a fine line. No. You know the line. You can see the line. Am I saying something that's constructive, or am I saying something that makes me look like an asshole?
And when that guy deleted his tweets, that's when I think he realized, like, maybe I'm the butthole here. Yeah. You know? And you know, you're welcome, Anthony. Of course, thank you. But at the end of the day, I know that we're not the biggest podcast in the world, and you know, one day we will get there, and I can't. I know, but I know. We're getting there. We're definitely trying our hardest, and to every single person that's listened and followed us and loved us, your support means the world. So thank you so much to everybody who's discovered us. This week we were also on the front page of Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
So if you found us through there, thank you for sticking around and giving us the feedback that we need. We appreciate constructive feedback. Sometimes we get really stupid feedback, like the one that we just talked about. And I remember when Wakanda Forever came out, we got another thing that was like, they only have this many followers. How the hell do they see this movie? I hope they die. So
wait till they see our podcast.
The only way you can be verified is the amount of people you follow. So like when you have like a bunch of people that follow you, then you are credible. And I don't know how that makes sense. Understand how that works. Like what?
It doesn't make sense. And that's the world we live in, right? It's like we're a legit business, we're a legit show. We have incredible numbers.
We launder money. Sorry,
on our show.
That's secret. That was a secret.
You're giving people away all of our secrets. But it's like, but because your socials, like, hold on a second, you don't got that blue check mark that you pay for, you're dumb. You know, it's like that's not.
I had someone come after me for when I gave Moon Knight lukewarm reviews. They were like, "You only have 600 followers," and I'm like, yeah, but you haven't watched the show. I have.
Yeah. And they don't believe you, right? Like it's this lie. Like why am I? Why? And you just, you know what? You know
what? It's not even thick skin. Like it's if it's someone tell me that in person, that's a conversation.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's like not wrong conversation though.
I'm sometimes like you're a faceless person with a thing on the internet.
They're usually like an anime profile,
or like a sports fan, like a European footballer.
Yeah, usually European footballer or an anime profile.
You know, it's what can you do?
Yeah,
you know, you're a touch grass. You know,
yeah, touch grass.
Ants, you know what? And ants have a longer lifespan than that dude's tweets too, Anthony.
Oh, God damn. Burn. We're just giving some major props.
We got some props.
The ants are laughing at you right now.
And they're dying and they're crying.
Okay, let's move on to some trailers. We have a ton of trailers, especially because it's Super Bowl Sunday. And we have a bunch of Super Bowl trailers that were just announced. Got The Flash, we got Indiana Jones, and we got Transformers Rise of the Beast, as well as The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But let's start off with The Flash being the biggest one. We haven't seen The Flash since, I guess, the event DC did back in 2022. Was it 22 or 2021?
I don't think we've seen The Flash since 2021.
2021
was the last time we got that trailer, right? So DC Fandom 2021 was the last time we got a trailer. Oh my god, it just started playing so loud in my head. Not in my head. A year and a half ago. Holy shit.
We didn't see Batman. We saw the Batmobile in that trailer. We
saw the silhouette. We saw the ears.
Silhouette. We heard Michael Keaton. But this trailer shows it all. We got Supergirl. We got Batman. We have 2 Ezra Miller Flashes. We also have the Ben Affleck Batman. There is tons of stuff happening in this trailer. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. This trailer was a lot of stuff. Like there's so much things happening. Even Zod being there. Like I didn't expect Zod to be, I guess, the villain or the main event that this time shift happens around. But yeah, let's talk about it. Daniel, like what did you think about the trailer?
There's a lot going on here. You know, there is a lot happening. I think the overall vibe of the trailer was very fun. But oh my gosh, like you said, there's Zod. It looks like we're getting, Barry going back and we're going to where it's going to take place in 2013. It looks like, because we're going like to the Zod invasion or whatever year the Zod invasion was going to take place in, because we're getting Michael Shannon back as Zod, which I didn't expect to see happening, or to see him making his return. The last time we saw his body in Batman versus Superman, but to see him as the villain and kind of to re-see the events of Man of Steel, I don't know how to feel about that, because I just feel like this is a Flash movie and I really want to focus on the Flash, but I feel like the star of this trailer is anyone but the Flash. It's Ben Affleck as Batman. It's Michael Keaton as Superman. It's a lot of other characters. Oh, sorry, Michael Keaton as Batman. That's huge. and then obviously we have Supergirl in here, and we have a lot going on. And I also think there's still time, obviously, but the CG is looking a little funky right now. I don't think it's completely done, obviously, but there's a lot of effects in here that kind of gave me vibes of the CW Flash, especially just the way the Flash kind of like looks like gold lightning running around. And but looks like we see Reverse Flash where like they go kind of like foot to foot and they kind of run away from each other. Do you guys notice that?
Heel, yeah.
They heel to heel. So I mean, there's a possibility that we're most likely going to see Reverse Flash, which I think most likely will be just another version of Barry or Ezra Miller playing him. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot to unpack from this trailer. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think too.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool. I mean, you're right about the CG there. I noticed it mostly in that like kind of that last shot where it's like, yeah, we're Barry, and I'm like, whoa, that is very green screen. Like that the lighting is off and everything. Everything else kind of had that rubbery look to it, which I wasn't a big fan of either, which I think again will be cleaned up by the time the film comes out. But the film has been in production for I think 40 years now at this point. Michael Keaton started filming this movie back when he finished Batman Returns, I think. And now here we are.
God, man.
But it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, we keep hearing how beloved the test screenings have been. Let's forget about not forget about, but let's put aside the Ezra Miller controversy. Everybody else that has made this film has put their heart and soul into it. Michael Keaton, Andy Muschietti. There's a great team there, so at least we know that the work that they're kind of putting out here looks awesome. It was cool to see Ben. He still looks kind of just sad, but it was awesome seeing Michael Keaton's Batman. And one thing that we never got to see back in the 80s and the early 90s was him really free flowing with his fighting, because you had to do it practically at that time. So adding that CG element kind of made this Batman, the 89 Batman, look a little bit different for sure. But I was down for it. I was
a little bit more agile.
A little bit more agile for a 71-year-old man, but I'm really
I was gonna
curious.
say
see how it goes,
Yeah, but he gave us the line though, right? And I think that's the thing where we got the Michael Keaton, "I'm Batman," and it's just like, God damn right you are.
It seems like he's a recluse in his mansion, because there's a scene of him with like, I'm suspecting it's him. He has like long gray hair, and he's right in front of this library or a shelf full of books, and the shelf full of books opens and it reveals all these Batman suits. So there was a couple of, I think there was 5 or 6 different Batman suits that he's worn, I guess, throughout his history. So I'm curious to know a little bit more about where his Batman's been and what happened, and did he have a Robin? Did he just have like
was it Marlon Wayans who was this Robin,
did he have,
or was it Jerry O'Connell, who knows?
We don't know.
Did he have a Christian Bale moment where he stopped being Batman because maybe he stopped all the crime, or that he needed a villain for a certain amount of time? Like, there were so many things, but the agility of this Batman at this age was a little interesting to see, just because it's Michael Keaton. We know he can't do the stunts that this Batman's doing, but it's nice to see, because I always suspected, like, I wonder if we took this Batman, 89 Batman, and brought him to the modern day movie element, what would his character look like? And the only thing I do not like is the neck. And I'm like, man,
it's
I get it,
neck. Yeah,
but like, we could have fixed the neck. Like, don't give him they only had that that option back then, because that's what it was. But now they can give you can still have the yellow crest, the black bat,
Yeah, and we see all the suits, right? And they're all the super thick neck ones. So like it's too bad. Yeah, we didn't see like an evolution of the suits at all, or maybe we will. This.
Yeah. Again, we got 2 trailers, right, for the Flash.
Yeah.
Just to clarify for people who maybe only saw the one that came online, the Super Bowl game TV spot has a couple of those extra scenes that we're referring to.
Yeah, definitely. But it's interesting, you know, because I think such a big part of what made the Michael Keaton Batman film special was Tim Burton and the set design, the art design, the aesthetic of Gotham. And I think having Michael Keaton as Batman in those suits in a setting that is looking like one of the most HD movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is so vivid. The colors of this movie, it stands out so much. And that's why I'm really curious to see, you know, what the final look of this film is going to be, because when you see those characters, and even when we saw Ben Affleck, you know, on the highway on the bike, there was an aesthetic to Zack Snyder's films too, that there was a grainy, gritty, like dark, you know, dirty look to them, where because everything is so bright and HD in this, it throws me off when I see those costumes a little bit. And I think once we actually start watching the movie, it's going to be okay. You get used to it. But it's cool. You know, like Shay, you notice, like, you know, Maribel Verdú, who we spoke to on the movie podcast last year, is playing Ezra Miller's mom, or Barry's mom, in this film. Obviously, Billy Crudup has been recast in this. But yeah, there's a lot going on. But I think there's a lot to look forward to as well. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and James Gunn keeps, you know, saying that this movie is amazing.
His favorite,
so.
Yeah, and Supergirl, we finally get to see Supergirl, and she's
Sasha Calle.
Yeah, she is very similar to, you know, the Superman that or the Man of Steel that we knew from the past. So the very similar mannerisms. Like, there's a sequence where she has like her back towards, I guess a bunch of there's like an escape, I guess. So she has her back towards the prison guards. And you can see, like, she has the same stance that her cousin has, or even, you know, Henry Cavill playing that Superman. So there was that fast, what do you call it? The zippity doo-dah jump,
zippity day,
jump.
The like the zip fighting when they're just kind of like the hummingbird fight. I think they called it in
hummingbird. Yes,
yeah, the hummingbird fighting, like they had a Man of Steel
too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a long wait for this movie now. Like, you know, it's about time that we have a proper trailer that we're going to get a lot of marketing from. And I'm excited to see, you know, all the YouTube channels break it down, new rock stars breaking down frame by frame of things that we missed and things like that. But this has been that movie that's been such a mystery the last 10 years, literally 10 years of our lives waiting for a Flash movie. I just want to know what this movie is. You know, I just want to see it. And we're so close.
I wonder which version we're getting of the film too, because I mean, there's been so many different edits and cuts that we've heard about. The movie has its own myth and legend that one day I think will be great for a WB HBO Max documentary.
Yes,
but you know, are we going to be seeing the old existing Snyderverse characters? Are we going to be seeing Cavill, because we know that he shot stuff for it? Are we going to be seeing Gal Gadot? Are we going to be seeing Jason Momoa as Aquaman? Like, what are we going to be getting in this film? Because there's a lot that's kind of being put out here. We know this is the reset, that, you know, the end of the DCEU. So let's see.
I'm so curious to see how it ends. Like, it's such a huge undertaking for one movie to end a full universe and then start new. Like, how big?
But we also have Aquaman later this year, so it's like, does Aquaman take place before this? Is Aquaman technically like? Is that going to be like the new line, where it's going to be like, no, this is Aquaman's actually going to be in the new continuity of DC films? We don't know.
We'll see. Next biggest trailer that we got today is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So this is, you know, James Gunn's last Guardians of the Galaxy, and apparently he brings it all in this movie. This trailer is about 2 minutes long? Let's say 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we see. We got Adam Warlock showing up. We got a lot of like interesting worlds that we're seeing. We see them in spacesuits. They're just having this huge adventure. So a lot of comic relief between, you know, Chris Pratt's character and the whole team, and we see a little bit of it with oh my god, what's her name? Gamora being still this character that I guess she's a future Gamora or a part of a Gamora that was
Endgame, right?
Yeah, so her character
past Gamora, I guess.
Past Gamora, who hasn't ever interacted with Peter Quill's character, right?
Yeah.
At this point, they never fell in love, so there's this this, kind of like headbutting mystery that we normally get between the two. But yeah, really good trailer. There's a lot of like foreshadowing of something tragic that's going to happen, and we don't know who or what, but like you can see it in Chris Pratt's face when he plays, Peter Quill. You can see he's really sad or something's happening, and you could clearly see it in his face that there is a lot of anguish in it. So, let's start with Shay. What do you think about this trailer and what we got today?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, I'm gonna miss James Gunn so much. I mean, he brought so much love and light into the MCU that already did exist, but the way that he kind of brought it was like he kind of still did his own thing. Like he never really forced himself to kind of fit within the confines of what was already existing, and he created something that was phenomenal. So it's going to be sad to see him kind of say goodbye. Rocket is going to make me cry for sure. That's going to happen. I love how this trailer still kind of blended in the comedy with that emotional weight that he brings, honestly, all the time. You even look back to Peacemaker, a show that's so silly and so wild, yet still makes us cry, still gives us that emotional weight. But yeah, I mean, the ending of this trailer absolutely made me laugh. I love the whole Nebula and Peter Quill kind of going back and forth. I wasn't sure. I mean, I know when they were making the movie initially, when they were shooting it, they really kind of kept it under wraps about, Zoe Saldana. Like they didn't mention her at all. They really kept it on the wraps. So when they started to show her now in marketing, I'm like, okay, I guess we're just going with it. Like we're safe to admit that she's going to be in this movie. It's not going to be the same one. It's going to be the Endgame version that we saw, or it could be a totally different one as well. We don't even know. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where that goes.
Daniel.
This looks fantastic. I think this is probably one of my favorite trailers that we've gotten from a Marvel film in a while, where, I love these characters so much. I love Guardians 1 so much. Guardians 2 has like such a place in my heart that I just think about it all the time. I love that movie. And to see these characters, this story coming to a close, James Gunn most likely is not going to be returning for whatever comes next for the Guardians. They'll show up somewhere, but this version of this team is, they're facing the music, and this album's about to be over, right? Like this road is coming to an end. So, to see the High Evolutionary played by Chuck Owuji, who we saw in Peacemaker, who was phenomenal in that show. He looks like he is going to be a really evil man, and we know from the comics that he is also responsible for a lot to what's happened with Rocket and Lila, and seeing them as younger, as a younger Otter and Raccoon gave me all the feels. I'm just so excited to see what this movie is. I am just counting down the days to watch it, and holding in my tears already, because it's this movie is going to be an emotional roller coaster, and I'm just I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait for it.
Yeah, you could clearly see that this is a huge send off for these characters, and we hope everyone makes it out. Like that's my biggest thing. It's like who doesn't make it out, and something. You never know. Like I don't know. Like, it could just be this misdirection of sorts, but it seems like something bad happens to the team.
Right.
I can see Gunn being like, I'm pulling the plug on some of these people.
Oh no.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So we got a what they call like a big game teaser,
a big game spot,
game spot. So we get a little bit of we get a 30-second trailer on Indiana Jones. We get a little bit more young Indiana in this trailer. We see a little bit of Harrison Ford as the younger version of him, which looks a little bit more. We get to see like the light and the shadow working with his face. So it's interesting I wonder how long that sequence is, because it seems like it's a flashback to when his character, Indiana Jones, meets Mads Mikkelsen's character on a train, I guess maybe during not the 40s or, I guess the 40s, because that would happen during the Nazi occupation.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good trailer. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in it. We got like Harrison Ford doing his greatest, acting at at the moment right now, because he is probably the the quintessential hero that everyone wants to be, and he does it so well. Like at an age, at his age, riding a horse, doing all these things, you think, man, how does this guy do it? But really, really good trailer. What do you guys think?
Oh man, I mean, how could you not be in love with this teaser trailer, right? I think it looks great. I think the de-aging looks great when you see it in motion, and when I saw it actually on TV, not from like the compressed YouTube stills that we've been seeing, it looks really good. I just want to see what it's going to look like when it actually comes out. But man, Harrison looks great. I mean, this guy doesn't miss a beat, and seeing Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Boyd Holbrook and everyone, like, this is this looks great. This looks like it's gonna be such a fun time, and hearing the Indiana Jones music swelling, like I cannot get goosebumps not thinking about it. So just, oh my God, so exciting.
Shay,
I'm always here for Mads Mikkelsen being a bad guy, even though I love him so much being a good guy. Just seeing him be this evil, menacing villain in this trailer, he leaves an impact. And I mean, Harrison Ford, he's so good. Like, this just looks amazing. This looks like Mangold is directing his childhood dream. This literally feels like he's within a sandbox doing what he loves, because it's hitting all the marks for me. I'm so excited for this. Daniel, you're right. When that music kicks in, you can't help but just feel that wetness in your eye, right away.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it looks like we keep seeing the same sequence over and over again, but like, it just feels like a really big movie and a lot of action. And I'm so curious to see where everything happens and what the actual story is all about. But yeah, it looks big, it looks fun, and it's Indiana Jones, and hopefully, they do a better job than the last one. And this is different too, right? Different director.
Different director, not Steven Spielberg.
Not Steven Spielberg.
Jeez.
We got a trailer or another big game spot for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. You guys were saying before we started recording, this is very similar to a Porsche commercial more than an actual Transformers commercial. But yeah, let's get into a little bit about it. It is focused on the Porsche character in this movie, as well as Anthony Ramos's character. There's not a lot of beasts. I didn't see any beasts. I don't remember seeing any beasts in this trailer.
Yeah, we saw Optimus Primal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, beating his chest.
But other than that, there was nothing like
no other beasties that I saw.
Really quick trailer, but it felt like something that we saw before with the trailer that came out about 2 or 3 months ago. Nothing super huge. What do you guys say?
It's one that we didn't see it on the Canadian feed, so I only saw it because Porsche tweeted it afterwards, and I was just like, oh yeah, this looks like a commercial for Porsche, and it didn't do anything for me to sway me more excited for this movie. I still love, like, Bumblebee is my favorite Transformers film. I still love the first Transformers films, and I love aspects of the other ones, but this did really nothing to move that needle for me either way. It's one of those things, I'm just waiting for it to come out now and to see how it is,
Shay?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Daniel. I mean, I think the trailer also ending with the Transformers, like the Autobots icon switching to the Porsche logo was kind of like, yeah, this is just a Porsche commercial, because a lot of the shots we saw, they were all from the original trailer. I don't know what was new other than the Porsche character Mirage just constantly, for some reason, in that 30-second spot, I think he said it 3 times, I'm Mirage, and I'm like,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I don't
we
care
know
yet. I don't care yet, because there hasn't been anything in this film that's shown me otherwise. The money shot seems to be Anthony Ramos getting out of the car as it's transforming, which sure, like that. I mean, it, again, doesn't do anything for me yet. I'm not against the movie. I'm just here to see it what it is, but it's not, let's say, on my top 10 anticipated films of the year.
Yeah, I think the highlight of the night or the day is the Super Mario Brothers commercial. I think that was one of the biggest surprises. It wasn't a normal trailer. It was a commercial on Super Mario and Luigi's plumbing company. And they portray it. It is such a good job. They have like this 80s vibe. They have the glasses. they have this like a hip hop song from the 90s.
Yeah, they have the song from the Mario Brothers show from the 90s. Like they reuse the jingle from the show. It's crazy.
We get to see the van. We get to see them work as actual plumbers. We know that it is taking place in New York. Before we weren't sure where it was taking place, so it is taking place in a real world, city. We have some testimonials from a lady who's getting her plumbing done, and it's pretty funny. Like I think everything about this commercial / trailer is fantastic. It just makes me want to watch it. I think the marketing for it after the fact is, there is a phone number that you can call, and they mention a website, so you can go to all of that after watching it, and it's all interactive and it's hidden gems in there. And I think the site will get better and better as the months come around. But yeah, like Daniel, I'll start with you. Like this trailer or this commercial was fantastic.
It's so fun, like because it's not even like a commercial for the film. It's just additional marketing for it, where you're like, you're establishing who Mario and Luigi are and seeing them interact together. If you call the number in the trailer, you hear Charlie Day as Luigi talking, giving you a spiel about like what they're doing, and if you want them to book, text them, and he even like drops like, yeah, like if you're in a mansion and it's like Luigi's mansion. So like there's so many little Easter eggs to get excited about, and I'm like, man, they've been killing the marketing for this movie. And with every passing day, I'm like, with everything that we're seeing, I'm like, this is my most anticipated movie right now. Like I'm just feverishly waiting to watch this movie because it feels like the film that I've been waiting my whole life for.
It feels like a dream come true. I mean, I'm looking at these testimonials on the Super Mario Bros. Plumbing website, smbplumbing.com, and they're talking about how they're no longer dealing with spiky bosses. Then you scroll down and someone named Spike is cool left a 1-star review saying, "There's no loyalty with Mario and Luigi. The subpar Mario Bros used to work for me until they decided to break off and start their own business. They'll learn their lesson someday." I wouldn't be surprised if this is some sort of like Bowser-esque homage, or like a character in a way that's kind of reminiscent to that. So really curious, because the other person that left a review is their mother. The Mario Bros are the very best in the business. They're polite, professional, adorable, and treated me like family. It's just funny. Like there's a lot of great stuff on here. Daniel, you mentioned that when you click on the number, you hear the GameCube loading screen, like the intro, the turn on sound. So that's always great. It's just fun, man. This trailer, it was hype. It had like that old TV kind of grain to it too. There's just a lot of cool things. I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it.
You're reminding me of the late 80s, early 90s, that time period, because it has the music, it has the old TV box vibe, and it has this old looking plumbing type of commercial that you might have seen back in that time period. I think Illumination has done a fantastic job doing the marketing, and I think there's so much more that's down the pipe, as they say.
Oh, shoot.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. I think there's so much you could do with the character, and there's so much nostalgia because Mario has gone through so many different transformations. And I think just having that old Mario, I guess it's the first Mario or whatever, Mario 2, that Mario on the van, it just signifies that these guys are really particular on keeping that history part of this movie, and it's not something that they're trying to rebrand Mario. They're just trying to elevate the story and add all these little things to it, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I just clicked on some more things on this website. There's all these different sound effects. Like you click on the TV and it's the Mario Kart start sound, and
that's so cool.
A lot of cool things here. Just so yeah, this is just I don't believe how good this looks. Like it's too perfect.
The marketing on this just reminds me of marketing that we got from like past films, like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, and movies. We don't get a lot of this type of stuff anymore. Very particular, very niche type of outside of the box thinking, instead of just social media. It's such a good campaign, and I'm hoping they do spots in big cities like Toronto and New York, and where you can explore some sort of Mario themed pop up. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I hope they do that. or they add some sort of like, gotta go to this location to get this and that. Like I love shit like that because it just makes you part of this film and makes you want to watch it as well. Like it's a combination of the two. Let's talk about some other trailers that came out during the week. We got 65, Fast X, Scream 6, and Air. Sorry, I was looking at the Roman number and I'm like,
they throw you off a little bit?
That's a 5 and a 1,
VI.
6. Or is
I'm
that?
going to do the math right now. Yeah.
So yeah, 65, Fast X, Scream 6, and Air. Those are some of the newer trailers that came out throughout the week. Let's actually dive into, I think the biggest one being Fast X. You know, it was
a lot.
Yeah.
4 minutes, baby.
It was, Vin Diesel was like, I need this out there, guys. I need them now. Like he did this whole friggin' event just for this trailer. I think it was after, I don't know what we watched. I think it was after our red carpet with Kathryn.
Yeah.
I saw on Twitter everyone was posting about.
Yes.
Was it
the event? Because the event that happened.
Yeah, it was leading to event, and then the next day it came out. It was a huge event, and I like that. I like how they're celebrating this film.
Listen,
even though it's as ridiculous as it is.
Yeah, as ridiculous as this franchise is, I will always be there day one to watch it because one, I have a love and a nostalgic love for the first 5 films of this series. They're so tied to growing up for me and watching them on TV, and you know, as silly as they are and as cheesy as they are, there's something just, they are very much products of their time. And then Fast 5 comes out and it's like, listen, we're going to be a fucking amazing King heist movie with cars and makes sense. And we're like, yeah, you know, it's a stretch what these guys are doing, but it's cool.
Yeah.
From there, things, you know, take a turn into the ridiculous and the over the top. And, you know, I was thinking of like Patan and like, like they go and like, let's just go out there and let's just do crazy things. And it's a soap opera, you know, this person's coming back. This person wants revenge. This trailer with Jason Momoa is so ridiculous. And like they're retconning 5. Again, I've never seen more retcons in the series than we have with Fast and the Furious.
Absolutely.
They retcon Han's death like 3 times. Yeah. Right? We saw from Tokyo Drift to Fast 6 and then to Fast 9, it's retcon again how he's alive. Sure. Jason Momoa being the son, I'm assuming, of the Brazilian, you know,
the bad guy,
where you see, again, you even see the shots where it's like they take the safe and he's standing there like, oh, I'm angry, and then you see him in the water, which looks
awful,
ridiculous. There's a few shots in this trailer that look so weird, where he's just standing like with his hands up and he opens his eyes. It's just like, hold on a second, did you guys just shoot that quickly? There's another shot where like Dom's like looking at his son in the car.
Yeah,
they're just like, oh, okay.
The CG looks kind of rough.
Yeah, there's some rough points. And again, like you see John Cena's back and it's like John Cena was the big bad of the last movie and he's like, Dom, I got your back, brother.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and then, you know, Jason Statham and you know, and Han and whatever Jason Statham character's name is, I forget his name.
And how is Charlize Theron still
Shaw? Yeah.
How is Charlize Theron still in the, like she's a huge actress. They're still milking her.
When she shows, again, the ending of this trailer, it feels like it ends, and then it's like, no, let's give you another scene with Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize Theron. She was like, good morning. I'm like, why are you still here, Charlize?
Like, why are you still in this? Like, in the last movie, she was in a cage the whole time, pretty much.
It looks like she's back in a cage again. So it's just like, man, we've had 3 movies with her, and it's like, I feel like, is she
the Thanos? Like...
Yeah, like she's been in this series a lot, and it's like, yeah, Charlize Theron is part of the Fast and the Furious movies, but you always forget.
Yeah.
Because she's just...
It's a huge cast.
It's massive cast.
Like, everyone has... From that trailer, everyone has screen time.
Oh, you know, that's why it's 4 minutes.
To Ludacris, to every single person that was in a... And I think Gal Gadot will probably show up in this.
Dude, there's no way she's dead.
No. There's no way.
They're going to retcon...
How did she die?
She falls off the longest runway in the world.
Right. She probably rolled. But yeah, so why are we looking at Sam Smith right now?
Sorry.
His costume or whatever, his fashion.
I just saw this picture pop up of Sam Smith at the Brit Awards, and he looks like a colon, like a semicolon, or like
Let me see.
Like someone, I don't know. Someone
he looks like a treble clef. Like
someone memed him.
I'm dying. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
My first day at school.
Yeah.
You know when you dress fresh for your first day?
Yeah, that's an interesting. But yeah, Giselle. Giselle's 100% coming back.
That's her name?
That was her name in the movie.
But this movie has a lot of like mini movies inside of it. Like it looks like Mad Max.
Didn't they announce that though? Actually, they announced that Gal Gadot was coming back.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I thought it was like
because I heard like in test screenings that she was at the end of the movie, kind of like how Michelle Rodriguez was. Yeah, and that leads to Fast 11.
Fast 11. So, okay, quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
Fast X is the second last movie.
Right.
The X sounds cool. So is the next movie going to be called Furious X? Or are they going to call it Fast 11? Because Fast 11 doesn't sound cool, but Furious X sounds kind of cool.
I'm going to be honest, none of the names make sense anymore.
So that's why they could do Fast X and Furious X.
They can do whatever they want. You know? They can do whatever they want at this point. They don't even call it Fast and Furious anymore. They can just be calling it X. People will be like, yeah, sure, I'll show up.
Yeah, but not triple X, just X.
No, two X's actually, because we already have X that came out, last year by Ty West. This will be double X.
Double X. Okay.
Yeah. Double XL. Magic Mike.
Vin Diesel was comparing these movies or this mythology to the Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God.
I thought that was funny.
I get why I get why he stopped writing those books because it's a lot. I'm
like, okay, it's a lot, but like
Tolkien stopped writing these because this mythology, family's hard.
Yeah, family. You can't write about family for too long.
Yeah. I get it.
Sign me up for the ridiculousness of it. I want to rewatch Fast 9 just to, I don't know, to maybe not feel something or to feel something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Scream 6 in New York.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Day 1, baby.
Day 0.
Day 0, really, yeah. But yeah, it looks great. So much fun. I'm so excited to see what this is. Ghostface looks brutal in this film, so I'm just really excited to see more.
Yeah.
65. I didn't watch this trailer, but I know it's about dinosaurs. Looks cool. Kind of like Turok.
Yeah. I'm weirdly so excited for this movie. Everything I see of it, I'm like, Adam Driver, really like. Dinosaurs, really like. Survival movie from the writers of A Quiet Place. I'm down for it. I'm hoping that this is like Life. Remember when we saw Life and we're like, holy, this was actually this was a good movie. Like this was well made. I'm hoping it's that, but even better because it's dinosaurs and Adam Driver.
Absolutely.
Ben Affleck directing Air, his first comeback since
Live by Night.
Here for this as well.
Story about
looks great.
Sonny.
What are your thoughts?
Sonny. I have it right here. Sonny Vaccaro, and how he led Nike in the pursuit of the greatest athlete in history, which is Michael Jordan. I think it looks good. Like, I'm a huge fan of Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Ben Affleck's directing this. This is a story that I guess I know of because it's about shoes and it's part of that world. And I understand like Sonny, how he had to like really pursue Michael Jordan because there was a lot of people going for him from Adidas and Puma and whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting story. It has a stacked cast. Viola Davis in it, Jason Bateman. Who else? Who am I missing?
Ben Affleck, Viola Davis, Jason Bateman, Matt Damon,
Michael Jordan.
No,
he's not in it.
Viola Davis. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I feel like I'm missing someone, but it's huge. Like and it's coming out in April, so I'm super excited. It's
April. I'm telling you guys, the best month. Yeah, Mario movie, Air. My birthday.
Move on.
Next one.
Quickly.
Oh, Chris Messina's in it.
That's it. Yeah, of course, it's a Ben Affleck movie.
Chris Tucker's in it too and Marlon Wayans.
Oh wow, full circle.
Whoa, is Damian Wayne in it though?
No,
Son of Batman.
I'm checking right now. No,
that'd be a cool name for the movie though, because even though they already did that,
Son of Batman.
Yeah.
That would be a cool.
It sounds like
that would be a much better.
Hashtag name. Son of Batman. Like that's
son of a B.
Son of a B.
James Gunn.
Son of Batman.
If you're listening, son of a Batman or any W executive.
Son of the Batman.
W executive. Women's Network executive.
Women's Network. Son of Batman.
Yeah.
No, WB executive. That's a better name.
David Zasloff, if you're listening.
Hey, we know you listen, David.
We know you listen.
Big fans.
Yeah.
Out this week. We got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
When are you gonna come down?
That
song's just in my head forever now.
I know.
And Apple TV Plus series Hello Tomorrow, which we should have interviews for in
next week. I think we'll drop them. Yeah. We're doing them a little late this week.
Cool. What are we watching? I'm gonna kick it to Shay because he doesn't have anything listed here.
I do. Maybe your phone hasn't updated yet.
Oh, you know why? Because it's just a document that I'm looking at it. It's not in pages.
That's why. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, I went to the biggest thing I want to say is really I went to go watch Titanic.
And
in theaters for its 25th anniversary. It's remastered in 4K. I've already seen it in 3D when it came out for its 15th anniversary. So seeing it this time in IMAX 3D was great. You know, I am not a big 3D guy at all, but it looked really nice in 3D. This movie is more about depth than anything else, and it kind of gives you that, really. Ooh. The movie looks fantastic, the 4K. Like, this movie does not look like it came out 25 years ago. It looks so damn good. Yeah,
like how's that high frame rate? Like,
luckily, for no high frame rate.
No high frame.
The version that I watched did not have high frame rate.
There is a version of that.
I'm seeing that. I haven't looked at the show times for a high frame rate version. I will avoid that like the plague. I'm not a fan of high frame rate. I don't think I'm going to be watching this movie in that, unless I get very curious one night. But I don't think so. It's a long movie to go be curious for.
Yeah. What else?
I'm very excited for
that. And I've been playing lots of Hogwarts Legacy. Been a lot of fun. Daniel, you and I have been roaming the castles. I wish we could have roamed together, but I
wish we could have too. Because there's so many aspects of this game where I'm just like, man, like,
because we were playing last night together, like over chat, and I was like, and we were luckily at the exact same place in the game.
Did you guys see each other?
No, because like I wish, and that's the thing, like there's no multiplayer to it.
Yeah. There's no multiplayer.
No. So like I wish there was a way. I don't know if they'll ever do it in an update or maybe for the next game, but like just flying around and like
and even doing like the games together. Like the games like the
like I wish there was a way, even if you couldn't do story stuff, you could just do like missions in the game or just fly together with other people,
side quests or whatever.
Because like there's a lot of cool like things, or even like wizard duels.
Yeah,
like let's like take on these enemies together. Yeah. Let's go exploring together. So it's a lot of fun. Like the game is great. I mean, the story, I don't really like the story.
I don't care for the story.
Yeah, it's not like the forefront of the experience. The forefront of the experience for us so far has been we're wizards playing, like learning these spells and going out and doing adventures and having fun and exploring and doing that. Like this is a game that I literally have zero rush to progress or to see the end of the story. Yeah. I'm just like, let me just play around and explore. And
I'm only progressing through the story to get the necessary things that I need, like my broom, my room of requirement,
Avada Kedavra.
That's it, really.
The most important things,
right? But I don't have an attachment to the story. I have an attachment to the world because I grew up reading those books and watching those movies, and that's it. I think, and then Ant-Man and The Wasp: Quantumania, which we watched this week as well.
Yep.
What about you, Daniel?
For myself, it's been a quiet week just because it was a busy week because we had a lot of events. So we watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We watched Pamela: A Love Story again.
Yes.
We didn't even talk about seeing Pamela.
We didn't talk about that. And also, I watched the Magic Mike movies for the first time.
Oh, yes.
I enjoyed part 1. Like, that was okay. I did not like part 2. Then I didn't watch part 3. And
that was it. And that was it. Yeah. I haven't watched part 1. I've only seen like a bunch of clips of part 1. Watched part 2. Yeah, it is what it is for me. This week I really I was looking for a new show just to kind of get lost in, just like as a show that's low commitment. And I'm like, you know what, Scrubs has been something that, we spoke to Bill Lawrence, big fan of Ted Lasso, big fan of Shrinking, and like adore those shows. I'm like, let me go back to like one of his earlier shows. 9 seasons. I'm on season 2 right now, and it's such a funny show. And for a show that's coming out in 2001, there's so much humor in it that I think is still like funny today, and it's been really fun just kind of going back and watching it. Yeah, it also suffers, I think, from having that, like it's a 24 episode season, so not every episode is going to be like a banger, but it's throughout constantly very, very funny. And I think going through it and watching it has been so much fun, and I'm like falling in love with these characters, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I have 7 more seasons with them. And it's funny watching a show after like 20 years after it comes out, because I'm looking up all these people afterwards, and obviously like I know Zach Braff and everyone, but like seeing like all these people, I'm like, oh yeah, like this guy was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it was on this show and it's like, but you're seeing them 20 years later, so like I didn't even recognize like a lot of them. So like what's his name, John, oh my gosh, Scrubs, I'm gonna do it right now, his name is John,
Jacob
McGinley.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
He was like the evil commissioner on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But like I didn't even recognize him because it's like 20 years later, right? So like this is what he looks like. I want to show you guys here. Like this is what he looks like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He plays this guy, right? Remember,
yeah.
Like he plays him, but like when you see him on Scrubs, you're like, oh my god, you're so much younger here. So like I didn't even like recognize you,
right?
But he's just like so funny on.
He's so funny.
Yeah, it's a great show. So it's on. I've been watching it on Disney Plus, and then obviously, we said Hogwarts Legacy's been taking up a big chunk of time. I also been going through Metroid Prime Remastered. Yes, we did get a Nintendo Direct, and hopefully we'll get some more Mario news soon.
We could have mentioned that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was more like game focused. It was Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance.
A lot of vintage stuff.
But there is going to be another Nintendo Direct this week focusing on the Super Nintendo world. So I'm curious if there's going to be any like movie news included in that as well. So
or new locations,
yeah, or even announcing like, hey, we're going to
build
start
one
doing
in Canada
Zelda or build one in Canada. Could you imagine? Never do that.
But I would love a Super Nintendo Lego because that's something that. I never owned a Super Nintendo, but I would build the Lego for it.
Like they did
because
the NES
with the
one?
NES, I would love that.
That'd be really cool.
Oh, and they did the whole Rivendell Lego set.
God.
Huge, beautiful, a lot of money.
$650 here in Canada.
It looks so nice.
It looks beautiful.
Lego, if you're listening to this, 3 of us,
send it over.
Send it over. I want 3 of them for my birthday so I could share with my friends here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the only time we'll celebrate Daniel's birthday.
Yeah. If I give you guys Lego,
if I give us gifts.
Hold on. You're only going to celebrate my birthday if I give you guys gifts?
Wait,
Yes.
we're supposed to give you a gift for your birthday? Where does it say that? Where are the rules?
You're right. There's no rules written in this. There's no birthday rules.
No birthday rules.
That's
very
it.
true.
Anthony, what have you been watching?
I started the week off with Mystic River.
No.
Oh, okay. That's
Are you okay, dude?
sad.
It was just on TV.
Didn't expect that.
There's nothing I want to watch before Ant-Man and The Wasp: Quantumania than Mystic River.
Mystic River.
It was on TV, and it's a movie that when you see it on TV, you gotta watch it because it's so good. It's so well acted, and that ending is unbelievable. Like it's just you didn't expect it.
Right.
You really you just didn't. And every single actor in that film does such a good job. Even if they had a couple of lines, are phenomenal. But yeah, I think Sean Penn's best performance.
That's my daughter in there.
So sad. And probably I would say Clint Eastwood's best director film.
Did he win best director for that one?
I think he did. No,
I think he did. I don't think he did. I think he won it for $1 Million Baby.
Oh yeah,
but it's such a good movie, and it feels like the Gone Baby Gone, and like the town was just he was trying to pull that essence, but like he still couldn't. Like what we got from Mystic River was absolutely beautiful. So I started off with that. I watched the last episodes, which I can't talk about.
Oh yeah, sorry. I also have been watching that.
Part 2. Check out our review of episodes 1 to 5 of season 4,
part one.
Yeah. Season 4, part 1.
Part 1.
So now we've been watching part 2,
and you can look forward to that in March. I played God of War Ragnarok, and I platinumed it.
Congratulations!
Oh, congrats! Finally,
I finally did it. I stopped playing back in November, and right when we had to do our review, I stopped playing it.
Yep.
Because when I play video games, I get so invested into it.
Makes sense.
Where it takes so much time, and I'm like, I don't want that. I like playing games, but I also don't want it to be this thing I need to continue going to every single day. And
you go hard on it, and then you're off until like the next big one that you care about is on.
Right.
Yeah.
So so there wasn't much on TV, so I put that on and I finished it, and I friggin' had to beat the fucking Berserkers. It took me like a good 5 hours, 6 hours just to beat the Berserkers. Then I had to beat Nah. Oh my gosh, what a friggin'
my favorite thing is like when I was chatting with you while playing Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And all I just heard were button clicks, and you're just like
I'm dead.
It's like I forgot Anthony would be there.
That's so funny.
And
it was
funny.
so like when I beat the last Berserker, because that was the one that bothered me the most.
Yeah.
The King Berserker dude.
Oh yeah.
When I beat him, I had to put the controller down because my hands were shaking.
Yeah.
Because the adrenaline of me trying to finally get to the end of that character. Because I tried to fight him like at least 50 times.
Yeah.
And I couldn't beat him.
I had to pause, and I literally had to like walk away for a bit, and then I sat at the edge of the chair just to really like nothing. There's nothing that can distract me here.
Yeah. So and Nam was hard, but it wasn't as hard as that King. But she is supposed to be harder. I think I got to a point where I could understand her.
You got the rhythm of it.
You had the rhythm of it, and you start to see her patterns and what she does and stuff. And the best part is like she's just standing there. So like I remember when I was going there and you're just kind of walking over and you're just like, oh shit, she's just there, and you start to get closer.
Yeah.
And then she's like, now you die. I'm like,
I think the hardest part of that fight for me was just switching between Freya's arrows to hit the orbs that she's throwing out there, because I was like, oh my god, I'm trying to also dodge and block, and then also Freya's like, let me find the arrow for you.
Yeah.
It's great Freya.
So I'm glad I finished it and I platinumed it, and it's done.
Now it's uninstalled.
I don't have
PS5.
to worry about it. It's like completed. So now I went on to Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Intergrade, which is the story that I didn't play yet. Which I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but now I'm playing Yuffie's story arc.
And it's the PS5 version.
It's a PS5.
You're enjoying her story?
I literally started today, but it's fun. Like I think it's such a beautiful game. Like it visually and graphically is just wow. Like I can't believe this. It just looks so nice. Remember when we would watch cutscenes from like the first PlayStation game?
Yeah. And
it would be like, whoa,
games would never look like this.
Yeah. Now they look like that real time.
Yeah. Because like you would watch it and it basically just cuts to like the PS2 would be like, yeah, we're going to start playing a DVD now of a CG movie.
This is
24 frames.
Yeah. That was the first time I heard like pre-rendered. This is pre-rendered material.
Pre-rendered gameplay.
What else did Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Quantumania, sorry.
It's Quantumanium for sure, though.
Quantumania.
Manium is happening.
What else did I watch? That is all.
Okay.
Oh, I put on a movie called Pleasure, which I didn't finish watching. It was on Crave.
You found no pleasure in it.
It's about like an adult film star who gets into the world of porn, and it just follows her career. But it's a drama. It's not like a real actual porn star. So it came out during 2021, and I was interested in it because the poster was like really like it catches your eye. So I kind of put it on, but I never finished it.
Okay.
But
so do you think you'll go back to it?
I don't know, because I don't really like going into the porn world, and it's pretty like toxic and it's pretty nasty.
Okay.
You know, because you go into this world and the type of people and the characters, and it is sticky, and it's just sad. And I'm like, no person in life will never want to be a porn star unless they're so addicted to sex. But it's like such a weird world.
Yeah.
I get it. Money you make a ton of money if you're a female porn star. But like, is that really the world you want to go down?
Yeah, maybe for them it is, right? Like at the end of the day, like everyone has whatever decisions they want to make, and so for some people, like
some, and you know, at the end of the day, it's
sex work is work, right?
People just look at it like job's a job,
and that's what it really portrays. It's like a job's a job. It's not like she loves having sex and that's her passion. It's more of like, this is a job that makes me money, and I can become, you know, very big.
Right.
I can have this social media presence and all this stuff that really works in this world that we currently live in.
Yeah.
But it's that road of, you know, it's sad. It's like, it's not a great life. Like it's you could say, oh, I make all the money in the world, but like at what cost?
I think, and I think again, at the end of the day, it's like people's decisions of what they want to do with their life. And, you know, it's not a life that I don't think I could see myself in. I don't think I'd be good. I'll be honest with you.
We don't know that. I wouldn't be good. I know that.
You wouldn't be good?
I wouldn't be good at being a porn star. I'd probably be like a porn actor. That's it. Not even a star.
I wouldn't be a side character. I want to be a star.
I'd be the guy that's like walking in the room and being like, "Oh, like honey, why are you gyrating so much?" Oh, you know what? It's fine. You're probably
you're the husband.
I'm the clueless husband while my wife is having sex, not even far from me, like within eye distance, and I'm like.
You know what? There's a category for that too, Shay. That's good.
What's it called?
I don't want to get into it.
There's a niche market. Like sad husband watches.
Oh, I was gonna be happy still on that.
Happy
I was gonna be happy husband. Happy husband watches loving wife.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, it's an interesting world, and I think one day
we want to get into it.
No. Well, I want to get into. I hope one day that we get a film that, you know, and there probably is films out there that do it justice. I hope that we get a film that, you know, accurately represents the experiences that people go through. I mean, we've had films like...
There's that one from Steven Soderbergh.
What was that one?
Oh, I forgot. It actually stars a real actress.
Oh, really?
The Girlfriend Experience.
Girlfriend Experience.
Yes. I know that we
like
had
sex work.
like
I don't
Zola
know
and stuff too. That kind of deals not like within the porn star world, but like just within
sex work.
with the sex work and stuff too. So I hope that like we are able to start telling these stories that aren't just like condemning them, but also just kind of showing what the world that people go through too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
One day we'll get there.
Well, as always, you can catch a new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure to follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Join our Discord and write into the show at hello@themoviepodcast.ca.
Before we wrap up, really quickly, do you guys do anything special for today on Super Bowl Sunday? Like, do you guys do? Because I know that this is like the day of wings. Like, people love like over like 1 billion wings are consumed on this kind of day.
Right?
Do you guys do anything like that, or is it just like food's in the house?
I typically will make ribs. Like, I like having as much American style food as I can on today. So like one, because I like to watch for the commercials, even though we don't get them.
Right.
But I do like just the. Like I said, I love the pageantry and I love like just the spectacle of it all. So I will have American food and snacks and I'll watch the Super Bowl and just be part of it. You know? Like that's just watching TV. I also, which I'll probably watch after we're done, every Super Bowl I'll always watch Remember the Titans.
Sorry, I thought you were going to watch every Super Bowl.
I watch them all simultaneously.
Remember the Titans is a great movie to watch.
Remember the Titans is like the greatest football movie ever made. So it's
wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
Any Given Sunday is
great as well.
Is Denzel in that movie though?
Is Ryan Gosling in that movie
Al Pacino's in that movie.
Yeah,
but Ryan Gosling and
Jamie Foxx is in that movie.
Coach Boone.
Okay.
But yeah, Any Given Sunday, phenomenal too. But yeah, it's there's so many great football movies.
Maybe I'll watch Any Given Sunday today.
That's the thing. Like, there's so many great football movies, and I don't
so many great sports movies.
Sports movies
are just it's a great genre.
Movies.
Like, I'm thinking about Coach Carter right now. I'm thinking about so many great movies.
I was watching
Mighty Ducks.
I was watching Adam Devine. Is that his last
name?
Devine? Adam Devine.
The gentleman from The Whitest Kids You Know? Or no,
from Workaholics.
Workaholics, that's it, sorry.
And like Modern Family and everything.
Modern Family, yeah.
He was on Call Her Daddy.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he was he auditioned for Pitch Perfect because he thought it was a baseball movie.
That's so funny.
And then when they asked him to perform a song, he didn't have a song prepared, so he started singing the Full House theme song. And he got the role.
Everywhere you go. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
He still got the role because he could sing and he's a performer. So,
what's your favorite baseball movie?
Favorite baseball movie, dude?
Fever Pitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Moneyball. But Moneyball is also...
That's a baseball movie.
It's a baseball movie, but it's not like following the players as much as like something like...
But it still counts.
The politics
it still counts.
The baseball.
It's more behind.
Still
Moneyball
counts.
is a perfect movie. And I watch Moneyball like every April.
Absolutely.
Again, that's what's
absolutely
here. And Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year is a great movie.
Rookie of the Year is really good.
Yeah.
I like The Rookie as well.
And The Rookie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great sports films.
So many great sports films. I feel like we had a topic of the show this years ago.
About this we did, I think. Yeah,
I think
movies.
so.
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah. It's a fun time. This is the thing that I like about, the only thing I really like about February is that you hopefully start to feel like spring is coming. Now I say that, and then next week God's gonna be like, yeah, fuck you, Daniel, snowstorm every single day this week.
Because today it's sunny. Like it's like I wore a jacket today, and Anthony, I think you wore a Speedo, and I was like, why is he wearing that? And I got out of the car and I'm like, oh, it's really hot outside.
Wait, didn't you have to get into the car this morning?
But when I got into the car, I was already committed to the jacket. Like I was already like in my the walk from my door to my car is like 3 seconds that I didn't even feel the air.
Right.
The air hadn't caught up to me yet. I was moving so fast with The Flash, which the trailer just dropped as well. What did you guys think?
That was This Time with the Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.